Sometimes being first place isn't all it's cracked up to be. BDS and Soniqs were both the #1 seeds coming from their respective regions into Atlanta, but now find themselves in a scenario where only one of them can continue into playoffs. And winning this game isn't even a guarantee of that main stage yet. Both came in with high hopes and the belief from the world that they would be major favorites, and to some they still are, but now one of them is set to be a major disappointment. I'm Caliber Jacob, I'm here with Laxing and Foxley on the desk. There is no path forward for both of these squads to make it all the way to the main stage of Atlanta. One of them is going to the 2-2 game tomorrow, and the other, within the next 2 to 3 hours, is going home.
Major disappointment. I liked how you put that. I feel like that's kind of the story of these two teams. They're so talented, so amazing. Everybody's always got them as a fan favorite, but I feel like most of the time they come up short.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a tough situation for both these teams, not only for Soniqs coming out hot out of NAL. They were looking the strongest by a means, but they're coming in short here into these playoffs, having a potential chance to be joining SSG, another North American team. Well, SSG, M80, I mean, it's looking rough for NA. It's not looking too great. And then for BDS, I mean, they've been a powerhouse in the region. I mean, when you look at their stats, you know, they won Gamers 8. They were the Gamers 8 champions. They became second in their regular EUL league. And then they came here. They had a great showing versus Wolves, but then immediately fell off, losing to GK 3-7 on Nighthaven, then a 5-7 versus W7M on Oregon. I mean, it's not looking great so far for BDS.
Yeah, it hasn't been fantastic, and you feel like for a team like BDS, in spite of losing to Virtus Pro in that final, they still looked like they were in tip-top shape, so even if they weren't the #1 seed, everything was still looking fantastic. Soniqs came back in a huge way at the back end of that NAL stage to beat M80. Now M80 is gone, and there's even a chance that Soniqs could be going home too. It's pretty crazy to think about.
The stats for both teams, you see at the top, regional ranking top and second, but their stats do not look characteristic to how they were in a regional.
Yep.
Now they're at the major, and both teams have had a little bit of a harder time, but I would argue that BDS probably had the harder opponents, but I think SQ has the most bounce back potential between the two teams.
Okay, so if for some reason one of them was down on their laurels a little bit, you think the Soniqs crew would be able to kind of be like, you know what, actually, we actually can come back from this?
I think Soniqs is just, BDS is Mr. Consistent, right? But obviously we see more energy, and I feel like in major tournaments, energy is always the biggest thing, especially if you have a good environment. And I think as of this tournament, as of this last stage, Soniqs has had an amazing environment. I feel like everybody's on a level playing field, humbled, and they're all ready to grind. Whereas BDS, I think it's the same old BDS as they always are, which isn't a bad thing.
Well, even with Soniqs coming off that fresh loss to DZ, I mean, I can only imagine, and that game was close. That wasn't like it was a slaughter by any means. So I can only think that they take from that and work with it and then apply it into this game. Whether they lost that game to DZ just because that was just a back and forth and DZ ran away with it, or was it the communication errors? Was it maybe a little bit of team play? Whereas like you're saying, they have that bounce back potential. Now do they fix that now going into this BDS game?
Yeah, both of them had really big wins to start off. It was a 7-1 and a 7-2 respectively for both of them, and they've both now at this point been on a 2-game skid. And if one of them has to lose this third game, no matter what ends up happening, someone's losing this bad boy and will not be able to progress to the Atlanta Major main event, which is going to suck for somebody. But you really have to find a way to dig deep for BDS, because SI qualification is also on the line in this matchup. They are still outside the top 20 required to qualify for the 6th Invitational. If they win, their chances still aren't 100% locked in. They are not guaranteed just yet, because they have to make playoffs one way or another. If they lose this game, they are not going to Brazil.
BDS is consistently winning events that aren't major or invite related. Obviously, they have the team play. They're doing it in other tournaments, like Gamers 8. But what's happening when it comes to a major event, especially just falling so short than what's even expected? You look at BDS and you're seeing them so consistent, one of the most consistent European teams, always making the event. You expect them to be top 2, top 4 all the time. To fall out this short would be a monumental disappointment, especially as a French fan.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you question, like, what's causing that? Like, what's stopping them from reaching SI? What's stopping them from reaching a major win? But like you were saying, you know, they won Gamers 8 very convincingly. They were completely dominant. And then their EL stage, I mean, they have a really good stage, but you aren't seeing this translate into the major right now. So it makes, again, the question is, what is causing that? Is it just nerves? Is it pressure? Is it just lack of fundamentals when the pressure's applied? Like, what's that question?
You know, funny enough, I was actually talking to Titan yesterday, today because he was doing all of the TriCast.
And he did a really good job, by the way.
He did do a great job.
Yeah.
But he was telling me that a lot of the players on BDS are so good at home when they're feeling comfortable, but when it comes to a LAN environment, he doesn't know if it's really like nerves or stress or what it is, but they just don't perform as well as Shaiko. Shaiko's always performing.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I'll be the first one to say that.
And for everyone on, I guess, every NA team, when they've played NA teams at this event, they've always been close affairs. And for the most part, every time they've played somebody who's not from North America, it feels like there's a little bit of a gap, not in skill, but just in the way they decided to coordinate themselves.
Well, and that's what's interesting because they did play against SSG just most recently and dominated SSG on Skyscraper. And what Call It specifically said about that is they were prepped for BDS. But the thing what BDS did is they sped up their momentum on the map, which threw SSG up. So then it makes me question now playing against Soniqs, that is another aggressive team from North America. Do they keep that composure and maybe speed up their pace, or do they play that a little different than how they did against SSG?
All right, so just as a reminder, this bad boy is a best of 3. We are out of best of 1s, at least for the remainder of the day, because this is elimination territory. So at minimum, you're getting one of your good maps, probably, and you're getting one of your opponent's good maps in addition to what that decider looks like. So where are we going? First is Chalet, second is Bank. If we need it, Consulate is on the docket. Let's talk about Chalet first, guys. That's Soniqs' pick.
I like this map. Chalet, that's a very good map for Soniqs. Very comfortable on it. They've shown it throughout NAL that they like it. They love it. They've shown a history of liking Chalet. So this is a good map for Soniqs. I think they're going to set themselves up for success. Regardless of what BDS might have on them, I do think this is going to play heavy favor into Soniqs' playstyle and how they want to approach the map, get into the map, or even hold down the map.
Absolutely. I mean, earlier today we saw VP go up against W7M. You know, Chalet is one of those most aggressive maps. You can't really stay too static, so BDS is going to have to switch up and do what VP didn't today. They're going to have to keep it adapting, and they're going to have to take the fight to SQ, which is that is obviously what SQ wants going to a map like Chalet.
So at minimum, we're also getting the Bank. If for some reason Soniqs don't win their own map pick, do you have confidence that they would be able to win a map 2? If they drop map 1, is there still comeback potential?
You know, funny enough, I actually think that BDS would win first map, and I think SQ would win the second map. I feel like Bank, a lot of people think it's a very slow map, slow-paced map, almost like a Villa or an Oregon.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think it's a very high-paced map, especially on attack. If you can spend a fast amount of time clearing out the top floor, getting ready to do the execute, you'll be in a lot better of a position to win those attacks, especially opening up all the hatches. But BDS is very good at exploiting those individual kills on those maps. I can physically remember they have very unique ways of clearing the map, going through the middle of the floor, which not many teams do.
All right, you ready for this one?
I am.
We're going to be on our toes the whole time. North America, it's about time you rally because the French are coming and they're about to knock us out of the major. Casters, have fun with this one.
I think it would physically impossible for us to not have fun with this one. I mean, the best team in North America going up against one of the best teams in Europe, one of the most storied rosters in Europe, and they need to win this series and win multiple after this to qualify for SI. The stakes do not get higher for this. Whether you're a member of NA, whether you're a member of EU, if you're just a fan of Rainbow Six, this is going to be a heartbreaking series no matter who ends up winning.
Yes, indeed, Lynx. Let's see what you guys think at home. It's going to be BDS 59% to Soniqs' 41%.
Hard to disagree.
I will say this. There is a pretty interesting factor coming into this game, but we'll get into it in a moment. The key factor, though, being that this game is a best of 3, and it starts here right now on Chalet. Ladies and gents, welcome to the casting desk. Let's get into it here. Now, the very curious thing about these two teams right now, Lynx, I was looking over some stats and stuff before we got here to the casting desk. Yeah, I know, first time for everything, right? Soniqs and BDS actually both have kind of a mimic thing going on right now. It's not truly Soniqs versus BDS in this matchup, Lynx. I don't know if you know that. It's actually Shaiko versus Grixer. In the most disgusting way possible, they are actually a perfect mirror of each other, minus their entries. Walk us through it.
Well, I'm glad he did, because I pulled this up just to talk about this as well.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Me and Lynx, we got this whole casting thing going on.
Shaiko and Grix are both at a 1.29 rating. Both have, and I can't believe this, 32 kills so far in Phase 2. Grixer a little bit less deaths, and aside from that entry stat, as it's 4-0 for Grixer and 9-2 for Shaiko, cost almost the same. Survivability, 0.03 differential. Not survivability, excuse me, that's KPR. But both averaging around a 1 kill per round. This This is ridiculous stat lines from the two players leading these teams.
Oh, and shout out to Analysis R6, because that's where I got some of my stats here for this.
Hey, shout out to CGG. That's for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Both doing a bang-up job of things. But this is a fantastic stat that I found. Their duels per rounds are practically the same as well, and they have the highest out of the majority of the teams here. I mean, you look at Grixer 1.59 and Shaiko 1.74. Not very shocking, honestly, when you consider their play style.
And you might be wondering, why are we going so hard on the stats for these individual fraggers?
Oh,
why we focus on this so much? Well, for BDS, they invest so much in a player like Shaiko. He is often what can make or break rounds for BDS. So if Soniqs can have someone who can put up the same numbers, go toe-to-toe with a player like Shaiko, what can often be the win condition for a team like BDS, especially when rounds get down to the wire, if Soniqs can have someone to look to, be it Grixer or somebody else, they might be in a good spot in this series, even if the resources and the play styles aren't exactly one-to-one.
We've got our two virtuosos set up here between BDS and Soniqs, but the tail of the tape for these two teams is what happens with the rest of these rosters, because both of them have honestly not been performing up to snuff. You look over at the Soniqs, you look over at Geo, for instance, he's just not really having the land that we expect, and honestly, the same can be said about Brede. Both of them just running into some obstacles in the current moment, and I mean, across the board for the remaining members of these rosters, respectively, they've all been having their own individual struggles. Right now in this best of three, right here, right now, they're both facing elimination. This is the biggest moment to try and prove what you've been working on in the past and trying to make these big adjustments. Speaking of which, I have a moment here for the Soniqs as they're quickly trying to work their way in off of this Dokkaebi call.
I hear someone just around the corner of that wine doorway, a three-man conga line down the laundry hallway, but they won't push in the site just yet. Instead, they'll push up the main stairs control. They know attacking the basement bomb site on Chalet, acquiring control of that dining hatch is important, but it's not Grixer who goes toe-to-toe with Shaiko. It's instead Geo, who trades out Citizen, being taken down by the Solus early on.
The logic bomb out here. Great discovery onto Shaiko, able to get that Solus out early on, but now Lem's in hot water here inside of Kitchen. Doesn't really have any assistance either. He's the lone soul here, and he will die alone as Gunnar will take him down. Big pickups here for the Soniqs, able to handle the BDS roam, and Renshiro is slowly going to back this off over on the blue side. They can't give up any more bodies.
That's true, but the only downside, well, aside from losing Gunnar very shortly after acquiring control of that dining hatch, is the loss of Citizen. They're deprived of hard breach now, so opening up that wine wall a little bit difficult. Geo losing a big fight. Licky Feck with this SMG-11. They might not have won in that W7M game yesterday, but no one can deny the skill that the lurker on BDS has with that secondary.
We saw some incredible moments from EFAC yesterday on Oregon, and kind of personally gave me a little bit of a skewed view because he's actually even right now, but positive with those 2 kills across the land up to this point. So, huge discovery from him. Definitely put Soniqs on their back foot as they have to try and figure things out now. Again, a very aggressive look over towards the laundry side of things. Try and bring it in, but no real way to try and vet things out. So they just don't really trust the push. I mean, really, why would you? There was a lot of answers there for BDS as well. Things would have gotten really murky if that swing goes off on that door.
The loss of Citizen early on will now force Rexen and Grixer to push in through this single doorway, or maybe rotate a player over to push down blue stairs, but they're in a disadvantage. Somebody's got to go big. They've hacked the Dread Mine to allow a push in through wine doorway to be easier, but as Rexen distracts from the rest of BDS, is anybody watching the backside as Grixer lurks down the stairway. Legion so focused, but Goo Mine activated. The sound cue gives away Grixer's position. He's the man with the diffuser as well. If he goes down, so do Soniqs' hopes at taking this first round. Somebody needs to get this kill from Soniqs, and it just might be Grixer as he overperforms. Rexen 2, a 3v2 to start. Not if Brede's got anything to say about it, but in a close 1v1 and in a close round 1, Soniqs take the lead.
The most beautiful part of that 2 versus 3 there was Rexen just being the most annoying bastard on that laundry side, just constantly popping shots with the 417. And you saw how it distracted so much of BDS. Even Renshi heard that Goo Mine behind him. He still has to keep his eyes trained on that door because they don't know when Rexen is going to try and get aggressive. And it allows Grixer, of all people, a huge moment in blue, which is something you never want to hear if you're rooting against Soniqs.
And for Soniqs, even before they lost Citizen at that big moment early on, losing their only hard breacher, they still had great priority recognition, or at least situation recognition, because they focused on the dining hatch. They know how important it is. They don't waste much time taking it down, but they do let Shaiko get active early on. So there are a lot of different pieces, a lot of different moments that if they either go accounted for by BDS or by Soniqs in future rounds, be it Shaiko getting aggressive or Soniqs clearing out a position, could change the fate of this game depending on what happens. But Soniqs get the first round. Now they get to attack bar and gaming. We didn't talk about the operator bans much, but to be fair, it's pretty simple. Aside from the Thatcher ban, that we don't see that often anymore. But for the defense, a zombie taken off the board by Soniqs. They do not like playing against this operator. And on bar and game specifically, they'll be very happy that she's not here.
Let's see, does BDS have a setup on top blue? Quick question here for you.
Ooh,
not going to have the deployable shield. Yeah, the reason I was asking is because we saw how impactful Thatcher can be on this map with clearing out ADSs and stuff like that. You can completely circumnavigate a lot of the setup, especially if it's based on electronics. So could be a good spot ban there from BDS. Just try and keep things locked up for a longer period of time, but didn't really thwart Soniqs' game plan all that much in that last round. So they're going to shift their line just a little bit. Still do have that Dokkaebi in for Geo, but Gunnar also going to have the Ying.
Leaving up that Ying, always a risk against North American teams. I mean, everyone across the world loves that operator. She's the most banned op at the event, but the amount of times I see that Ying brought North America, the amount of well practice we have with her, gonna be more than happy to have those Candelas. Alem's pushed down to the death spot inside of Library early on, and while there is no deployable shield, BDS's solution is to have Shaiko play inside a master bedroom early on and still play these blue stairs. We have the projectile denial, but even if he doesn't have a shield, this is one of the best fraggers in the world we're talking about. He can still hold down this position if Soniqs give him a 1v1 that even favors him by a percentage.
Soniqs are going to be working on this library side. Geo's here to man the window for the cross. They have Rexen out on Ego balcony, and then you'll have Citizen, Grixer, and Gunnar trying to work library balc here with arrows as well as frag grenades. Some damage being taken by both respective parties here. It's going to be Grixer as well as Renchi that both get tagged up. But it's just a duel of fates here, folks. They're going to go back and forth and constantly do this dance until something gives on one end. And it just so happens to be Renchi going down to Rexen.
Just trying to apply as much pressure as they can, and once they have that pick, they send the Candelas and send Citizen on in. Liquifact trying to hold things down on the piano side. Geo with a huge pickup and keeping the man advantage as Bride cuts down Gunnar. The Ying pushing in through piano, but Shaiko still holding things down on the library stairs. He'll retreat back to the site on low HP.
He has to play patiently here. 3 versus 4, and this is a player that you want alive in these clutch moments. He can make there's most for BDS, especially if he can hold on to blue here. You see he's rotated downstairs. Because he doesn't really want to get droned out, but oh, a great find here as Geo has hacked the cameras, it seemed. I'll have to take out that camera. I don't know if it was being immediately gunned there by Gunnar, but either way, they have discovered Shaiko down low, and this could change up this round for the better for Soniqs.
Shaiko have to hit the flank on a different position, but it's an effective 4v2 on the bomb side right now. Just Alems and Bride in critical position, sure, but if Shaiko doesn't hit that flank in time, this round might go the way of SQ, the second one in a row. He's moved back to Fireplace Stairs now, but SQ have not moved down below. Citizen spots one, moving around the bar. Alem's cut down in the sight. That's what Geo needed to find. Shaiko finally hits a kill, but Citizen's just around the corner. Grixer 2, Soniqs win 2 in a row as their attacks, while slow, are effective in the end.
They're taking their time, man. I loved the squeeze on that top floor, just making it to where BDS had to get a little antsy about the situation. Renchi oversteps by just enough of a margin that he loses his life. And Soniqs take full sweeping control of library, lock up the stairwells, and start readdressing what's going on around the building. I especially love the fact that Geo was able to get the cameras hacked, and they did have some sensible knowledge as to what was happening with Shaiko. Obviously, he's still able to get away with some semblance of a play there, but Soniqs just had so many bodies, and they were so oppressive once they did go for that execute that it was kind of a moot point.
Soniqs also showing their expertise on this map. 2-0 in the NAL so far, and is widely considered to have been for years now one of this org's best maps, no matter the roster. The institutional mentality they have, the strategy that's been built up over the course of years, the play style they've cultivated, they've always preferred Chalet. Now BDS, they haven't, the energy's here. You got to appreciate that. SQ have come to play. And while BDS haven't played it much, this is still a team. They're going to be practiced on it. They're going to have something. Defense has always been difficult to win on Chalet, but SQ have shown so far in these attacks that they know how to make those defenders uncomfortable in power positions. And as we move back to basement, now it's on BDS to adjust.
Lynx, you like Rocky movies?
I haven't seen them, but I really got to appreciate what Rocky stands for.
Yeah, he's an American pastime, an American hero, right? But there's something that happens in every single Rocky movie that even people that haven't seen them know about. And it's the fact that Rocky has to get his ass kicked first before he's able to actually box. Guys, welcome to North American Siege. We have to get punched in the face a couple of times, and then we wake up. Soniqs is here to play, folks. This is the most energy, the most chaos we've seen this team create throughout this entire event so far. And it's very exciting. They seem to be firing on all cylinders. So we'll see if they can keep this team play up. So far, so good for them on Chalet, and they are taking it to BDS. BDS, though, have a couple of things still loaded up in the chamber links. They're going to send this one all the way back downstairs, try and see if they can find a solution.
Rexon almost finds the Solus, but Shaiko moving deep into stock. Now retreats into bar. Not many attackers can cut off his position immediately. Shaiko doing some good damage to the Soniqs intel economy. 5 drones remaining as we just reach a minute into the round, and a Dokubu call used. Will Soniqs find anything off of the usage of all of that utility? They've at least entered library, but Leaky Fact still on this roam. Will make sure he doesn't avail himself to the attack at the moment. They need to hold this dining hatch, and as Soniqs haven't pushed quickly up West Main, it's still very much in BDS's control.
This is a great roam here from BDS. They're playing the timer perfectly, falling things back off over on the Solarium side, and this is just going to allow them to vacate the premises if they want to. They can just go right down West Main, don't have to worry about things too much. It can reinsert themselves back into the site and try and address Soniqs if they do try and go for more of a garage assault. Either that, or you can play these angles like Alems is, but you can see they're kind of splitting the payload there. Beautiful setup here from the Soniqs. I love this with the boogie drone. We've been seeing this a little bit over on Consulate, you know, especially with the triple floor thing that we kind of have going on over there, but this is another beautiful example of what Siege can bring to the table with its different operators.
And when you see that ram on a basement defense, we didn't talk much about it, but it often signals a snowmobile take for this very reason. You can open up so many useful angles, especially on the Heaven balcony that you saw Rexon playing on, to look through 2 different floors, but more importantly, enable somebody to move in and get a plant. Where will it come from? Soniqs seem to favor snowmobile, but Shaiko cuts down both the players playing on the breach. From the blue hallway, Grixer and Citizen have both gone down and dropped the case dead outside of the snowmobile wall. Alems picks up a 3rd for BDS as Rexon and Geo struggling to find any momentum in this round. Rexon will look to the Legion around the corner, maybe to find one. That's a crossfire on the bottom of these stairs. Even if he picks up one, he'll surely be traded out soon after. Geo now fallen. BDS very dominantly answering back, as Rexon will likely only get one for his troubles before being finished off.
And that's a statement round right there from Shaiko. There's only a couple people in the world that can split decisions like that and kill both players. That was a garage player and a main stairs player trying to influence him at the same time, Lynx, and he kills both of them. Opens that round up massively for BDS. Soniqs, they do everything right, man. Their strategy worked. They got things open. Things were ready to go. It's just that Shaiko had the firepower.
And let's just check this out on the replay. What can he do? 1v1, 2 1v1s. He knows somebody's going to peek on main stairs. Shaiko's been around the block a few times. Again, like you said, not necessarily SQ doing anything wrong, but when you have such a dominant player inside of the international
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen sometimes. And that might be a good idea for Soniqs, that if Shaiko's going to be playing that position, maybe we do focus more on the wide-sided execute instead of the snowmobile ones, where we are a bit more available to wide swinging, and there are a lot of angles for us to worry about.
To this day, arguably, I mean, not even honestly, arguably, Shaiko is probably the best player in the world on the swing. If he's swinging you, there's a very major chance that you're probably going to die. So, see if he can continue on his tirade here into round 4, but it'll at least be good for 1 round now. BDS is going to go to their kitchen defense, which means how are they going to handle this top floor? That's really what we're trying to look at. Lems is going to try and handle things downstairs with Solus, which is a great idea. We've been talking ad nauseum about this operator throughout the entire event and just how impactful she can be on the drone game. Let's see where Soniqs want to start things off, Lynx. They want to start things off over on the library balcony, a preferred take for many a team in North America.
North American teams do typically prefer to go for that full clear. Not so much, you know, the method of Virtus Pro, attacking those solar stairs, going for the direct. No, they like to enter from library, acquire that control, but then whether it's dining or master bedroom and office, open up that office wall and then slowly press control. Sometimes teams will go for the full clear. They'll take full control of solar, bathroom, but more often than not, it'll instead just be a half clear. They'll open up that office wall, but then make sure that nobody from the defense can retake the vertical angles watching the diffuser, or the default plant spot inside of dining.
If you want to establish your cut, that's what you want to do. A perfect example of something like this is Nomad as a whole, right? You can perfectly slice a map in half just by putting things in proper places, but you can also do it with drones, guns, whatever you really need to do, but that's just the mindset that goes into a setup like this. When it comes to Soniqs, though, they're really going to want some control over this top office space, and that's why you see them flirting around with the office door right here on Ego Balcony. Grixer's going to be on the outside here, and is this going to be the very first duel that we get between the two superstars?
Shaiko tries to put a Dread Mine on that wall. Of course, he can't activate it. Could very easily be shot. He goes for the swing, but excellent play from Soniqs. They're expecting it. They know Shaiko's been playing that Fenrir, and whether or not they know it's him or not, they just wait for the swing, and Shaiko over peaks. And for once in his life, does not win the one he seemed destined to.
Disgusting on the swing, but when you have two people waiting with bated breath right outside the door, always going to be a difficult fight. Even one of the best players in the world. Soniqs shut him down, and this is going to open up the top floor. This is going to allow Geo to start working things out here with the Monty. They want to try and pressure everybody back, Lynx, get them down that Solarium stairs, and then try and address things through verticality. We're going to be looking at Gunner as well as a few others to try and deal with this, but that doesn't mean that there can't be influence from downstairs. Nitro Cell comes out from Brede, and it'll find Gunner.
It does find Gunner, but that means if SQ can get in position for a plant, there is no C4 remaining for BDS to deny. It'll have to primarily be, well, from those impact grenades potentially, but could be from singular gunfights taken by BDS, but it's only 30 seconds left. Soniqs have decided to push all the way across that top floor, so while they've gathered a lot of control, everyone from BDS has fallen down below, and if Soniqs want to push this site, they have to march down the solar stairs with all the BDS guns trained at them. The Monty's supposed to force, break that stalemate, allow someone to enter in. Grixer will find his way through. Will he land the trade? Yes, he will. Advantage acquired once again by Soniqs as they make it a 3v2. 3v1 as Alems is found on the run out outside of the garage position, but Brede creeps up. Are they watching the diffuser? Yes, they are. Citizen cuts him down. 3-1 for Soniqs.
Fantastic strategy coming out from the Soniqs, especially with that pressure on the top floor. They wipe everyone clean. Yes, they lose Gunner, but the hatch is already open, so they don't have to really worry about that. They can just use the verticality for themselves and lock things up. The biggest issue then is where do we plant the bomb, right? So they have to try and clear things out. They send it over towards the trophy side, and yeah, it's all well and good. BDS is able to make a play with their Wamai, but it's not enough. They're able to battle back and buffer off a lot of BDS. Then it comes down to Brede, and there's really no chance for him to work back into that round, just given the circumstances of positioning, especially with that verticality. If it wasn't going to be that kitchen plater to the right, it was going to be somebody else.
It's great for Soniqs to continue expanding this lead. Oh, Gunner just stepping on it right as it explodes. But we've seen a lot of teams this tournament. Parker and I were actually talking about it a couple days, I think, after the play-ins. A big theme this tournament is teams losing their own map pick, but winning their opponents. And those often end up being extremely close series. So if Soniqs can just secure Chalet and then move on to Bank with clean, fresh heads, they'll be in a great spot as this tournament. Many teams have found it to be inconsistent when they're playing their own maps.
Speaking of inconsistent, BDS, the exact opposite of that right now, actually. Consistency across the entire board right now, whereas a lot of the other games that we were watching, Shaiko was definitely the raid boss of BDS. As of right now, not as active as we've seen him, but he's already made his presence known in these rounds. Obviously, the one round that BDS picked up, practically a Shaiko round through and through. So now for the Soniqs, try and address the kitchen setup yet again here. What's going to be the adjustment from BDS to try and slow this down?
They do drop the Solus. Alems instead focusing more on the site. They saw how slow Soniqs' take was, and they think maybe with those Electro Claws, the Mute Jammers, the Goo Mines even to a certain extent, they'll be able to slow down the Soniqs library over clear by just a few more seconds. That'll allow BDS more time and more opportunities to close out that round. And they still have Brede with that C4 from below, and Alems now switching to that Cade adds a second to the mix. So there are more opportunities for BDS to take down Soniqs defenders from below inside of the site without even needing to take a gunfight.
Some great finds here and a beautiful lineup from Geo. immediately threw that EMP at the top of the wall. They already knew that a Kaid was in play. They didn't have to worry about anything else, so won't incorrectly dedicate himself. So now with that open, they're going to be able to apply at least some pressure towards the top floor, but Rexon's immediately cut down. He was trying to assist with the Monty play here. Gio take a tad bit of splash damage from that impact, but it's mostly going to be just slowing down this push for now. Reggie's going to take a little bit of damage too here. Don't exactly know where that boiled over from, but you can see Soniqs doing their damnedest to try and get these players into positions where they can start trying to paddle back against the site.
Citizen trying to find the solar player. Might be V-Pick to bring it back, though Shaiko taking a lot of damage from a different position. Seemed to be a vertical hole, but there we go, the trophy window. Nice rotation by Grixer as he cuts down one of the defenders, rotating back to the site. Shaiko and Alems all made it. Baliki Fact now down. And just like last round, 45 seconds left. We are in a 4v4. But Gio the Monty, with the case, is on low HP, and they've not opened Dining Wall either. Soniqs do not have the main entry point you hope for. They're just back to this singular, linear solar take. And if they lose a kill, if they don't have that advantage, it is so problematic. But that's the issue. Soniqs keep getting that advantage. Alems on the rotate denies it, though, but Shaiko on low HP.
There's only one person on site right now, and it's Alems. Nitro Cell, rather, even downstairs. Only player on site, Brede, actually, but Gunner's going to be able to take down Shaiko. They found a place to plant. Let's see how this defense tries to rotate into this.
And they have the info. They know one player covering as well, but they don't know Citizen just cutting it close on the solar stairs, but cutting off the singular rotation that BDS needed to retake.
Soniqs into low time executes. They get what is necessary. They get things done against the site players. So much pressure boiling over, especially from Trophy. BDS constantly trying to jive for control over there. But they're losing body after body to Grixer with a 417. One of the best angle guns in the whole game, Lynx. It's crazy how much damage that thing does. Now for BDS, giving up the goods when it really mattered on that far side is going to be the biggest detriment to them. But it was a tall ask, really, especially with the pressure coming in from Monty. Gio with a great decision there.
And I think if you look at both teams right now, I mean, for 9 players in the lobby, the kills are all pretty much even. No one on either team has more than 6 kills or less than 2. Gunner even. On the Soniqs 4-1, he's got 2 kills. The only exception, Renshiro 0-5 at the moment. And on that dining defense, he's been the player to try to stop that solar position, that flank down the stairs. And both times, Grixer found him. And that allowed, well, I guess Gio too, but Grixer and Gio on the pinch. That allowed Soniqs to push down in what was a very tight execute and still somehow win. So even though the rest of BDS are performing well, Renshiro 2 rounds now in a key position, not able to bring it.
Absolutely. Another key factor walking into that, later portion of that round too, they had done so much damage to Shaiko. He can't really try and ice the round. He has to be picture perfect about everything he does because he's got like 5 HP. There's really nothing you can do in a situation like that. So Soniqs through and through right now, through patience and coordination, are taking it to BDS.
But for the final defense, we are back down to that basement bomb site where we saw Shaiko completely shut SQ out of their snowmobile execute. But I have to imagine they won't try that same thing again. We have the Maverick opening up the snowmobile wall, so they might go for something on that side. But you still usually open this wall no matter what execute it is. If you're going for a snowmobile take, it's where you go to defuse. But if you're going for a wine-sided take, you still open this wall and have someone play it to relieve pressure and stop BDS from rotating for free in the site.
Oh, Citizen. A tale as old as time. We didn't fix the map trick. Oh! And now he has to try and
You've got to be kidding me. He risks it like that?
And it's Shaiko. Shaiko couldn't find him. He saw the shadows of his feet there just for a second. But fortunately enough, Citizen, he's got the fast shoes on today. Dashes through. And they're going to have to try and address this on this side. But Shaiko, he's found a home somewhere else. And once again, reading it through exactly what the setup's going to be for Soniqs. He knows that garage influence is coming through, but also some main stairs action that could boil over. He'll find Rexon as he dons the top of the stairwell.
And this is such a good position for BDS to put Shaiko in to try to cut off anybody playing that garage wall. But Grixer finds Alems. Guess who's going on the flank? Guess who's trying to retake that man count lead? It's Shaiko now playing on the fireplace stairs. Gio with the diffuser just so close. Soniqs don't have a solid inroad into this round. At least with Dining, they had a way down solar, even if it was tight. And now with Citizen cut down, Gunner might start feeling pressure. Might feel like he needs to make a play. Shaiko certainly is the MVP of both BDS's basement defenses so far. It might just be the reason they take round 6.
Does BDS run through Shaiko? Well, as of right now, it does, but Grixer, he's found a gap in the defense! Oh my God! A triple kill for him! He's blown the back out of this round! BDS, can you get it done, Renshi, in the clutch? 1 and 5. This would be the biggest moment for him.
But 1 HP. Grixer's got 1 flash and he uses it well, but he blinds himself! A brutal misplay to cost a likely 5-1 half if he just landed that flash, but just not enough.
One of the most disgusting basement rounds on Chalet that I have ever seen. And it ends with a clutch from Renshi. His number was called, Lynx. It's a 1 versus 2. He's got 0 kills, but 0 kills be damned. He's got 2 now. Huge clutch moment for him that BDS, if they end up taking Chalet, will definitely look at as a saving their bacon moment.
6 rounds in, and this game is already giving everything we hoped it would be. Great play from Soniqs in their 4 attacking rounds. Great play from Shaiko and BDS setting him up for success. I mean, this is one of the best, obviously, players in the world. We've talked about it, but Solus in particular, the way he's able to use that Specchio, find gaps where the attack is potentially playing, but also just give himself 50 bullets, 50 chances at a kill. Easily the MVP of BDS's defensive half, as even though he got smoked by Grixer there, he's the player that has opened up their 2 basement wins.
Just goes to show you as well how important it is to hit headshots with that P90, right? You have a lot of opportunity with it, like you said, 50 bullets, but if you don't hit that headshot, there's a good chance an adjustment can come out from your opponent. Grixer a little sad about that one. More than likely thought that his opponent was supposed to be stunned, but the stun actually working against him in that situation.
A 4-2 half acquired by Soniqs, not bad at all, but the defensive side always can be a little difficult, very constricting. You need to hold this map control, but you don't have a lot of room to move. You're stuck in the very position often that the attack is wanting to take. And if you want to have somebody roam, it'll have to be somebody in a more solo position. That's Citizen right now over by Trophy, and Alems has read his position perfectly. The DMR puts him down to 1 HP. And while that might not be a kill, they've softened up a key player for Soniqs' lineup.
And with the certified Hood Classic, too, the Trophy drone hole, one that has been the bane of everybody's existence since the dawn of Chalet time. It's going to deal quite a bit of damage to Citizen. He can catch his professional players sometime of Soaks, but Citizen's not going to make the rotation over towards Fireplace Hall. That would have been the most critical error that he could have made, as BDS does have somebody lined up for any crosses coming through that space. BDS are slowly constricting the building, but they're pretty widespread right now. We have Alems over on Trophy Rappel. We've got a couple people over on Library. They're trying to get a full understanding of how the Soniqs are handling this map control.
And how Soniqs are handling it is different than what we saw from BDS and their Bar Games defense. We do have a deployable shield this time, Rexon playing behind it on the library stairs. So those grenades or the Gon 6, any kind of explosive, the Rotero drones, for example, need to land. And it seems as the call goes out, he's forced off his drone, at least for the second, lets it fly. Does it land? No. I think the Rotero drone is gone from the impact. Nobody actually playing behind that shield. That's a phantom position at the moment. Nobody playing behind it. Instead, explosive utility used in other positions. A key lost by Shaiko. Grixer, just to finish him off, throws the C4 out, but he's saved by the windowsill and can easily be rezzed by his own adrenal surge for that.
Indeed. The drone economy, not great for BDS right now, but they still have a minute remaining, and Shaiko on a pretty wiry swing right there, almost loses his life, but thankfully they'll be able to maintain him and keep a 5-man up kind of situation. Try and keep these guns alive. Rexon's gonna fall back into sight. With 44 seconds remaining, BDS finally have control of this top floor.
But only 40 seconds left, and it's not even full control. Gunnar was playing up here and could go for a flank later on. There's nobody from BDS in immediate position to cut off his progress across that top floor, except for Renshiro, who has now worked himself into a position on the office double. So Gunnar will likely need to retreat. Maybe join Citizen playing in that dining position. No, it's Gio, in fact, but as he goes to swing, he doesn't even shoot. BDS just cut every gunfight down that they've needed so far, but Rexon's still in stock. Takes down one, not the second. Great heads-up play by Bride. Now it is Gunnar on that long flank he gave up, who now has to retake the bomb site from BDS. Post-plant position. Can he find the one? Leaky Fact shuts him down. First attack for BDS.
And even when you think BDS has missed the mark, they quickly adjust things. There's not really any coverage over there for Gunner for a split second. They put Renshi in. You know, things start to go awry with the plant. Ride immediately there to answer the gunfight. BDS always having something implemented to be able to pull themselves back across the line when it matters most. And these offenses looking a heck of a lot better than their defenses.
We saw it from Soniqs. Even if it's only 30 seconds left, if you can just win the fights you need to, win those key engagements, you'll win the round. BDS just so happened to do more than that. They won every single gunfight that needed to go their way, even if one maybe was a bit more ancillary to the control they needed or the take they were going for. Now, as Soniqs have lost bar games, they will not defend it again. They will instead move to kitchen and dining, and we will still need to see a roam. Rexen bringing the castle to try and fortify, make that extension official, because we'll see teams bring a deployable shield, and we'll treat library as part of the bomb site. But that castle, you know what they want, and what do BDS want? What could they be thinking with this lineup, Sam?
Let them cook. Let them cook. Let's not talk about it just yet. We'll talk about the Soniqs first. Don't even address it, folks.
Don't say a word.
As for the Soniqs, though, we're going to be starting off in kitchen. We've got a lot of pretty cool utility here. Fenrir and Solus especially is going to mean quite a lot. But now, I'll let you off the hook. What do you want to say?
We have the sends, boys.
Oh, yeah. It's making a lot of sense, ain't it?
Ah, you're clever, aren't you?
No.
But seriously, they've got those ROU projectors. They have that light wall that cuts off vision for a long portion of any part of the bomb site. And what do Soniqs not have? What is not an operator that's part of the...
Do I get to play? Me.
What do they not have?
It's the Warden.
They do not have the Warden that is meant to look through these smokes, these flashes, the light wall from the sends, and that might just cost them with so much utility on the board. Geo takes down Alem's first and foremost. Rexen follows up on the second. Alem's cut down. This execute that seemed to be so explosive, so exciting. Nothing is going BDS's way. Soniqs have won every 1v1 given to him, and LickyFact tries to bring something back on the bathroom window, but the star player, the boy wonder, can achieve nothing in round number 8. A flawless round for Soniqs first.
Good calls, man. Good calls.
Soniqs slapping the brakes off of BDS on that entry. And they looked lost in the sauce right there, Carter. Couldn't see through their own smoke, really. Have to try and flood things out from the Solarium side, but Solarium really wasn't where the action was going on. It was like trophy and down near sight. A lot of execution pressure flying through, but the Soniqs time and time again get the impactful kills and shut down BDS's take completely.
They didn't need the Warden. They just shut it down. They said, all right, we'll just take the
Just
fight.
imagine shooting, you know?
Exactly. Imagine playing a first-person shooter. You could have the best strat in the world, but if you lose the fight, you're going to die.
Sometimes it's just about killing your opponent, you know?
It is. Ultimately, the philosophy of a first-person shooter is if the last man in the lobby is on your team, you win the round. And Soniqs had all 5 on the board by the time round 8 ended. Moving into round 9, they will continue the site rotation. No bar in games just yet. No master bedroom in office either. Instead, down into the basement, where we'll likely see some off-site presence, just as always. But how will BDS handle it?
Well,
5 seconds left.
we're staring at BDS's lineup right now. We're staring at these score lines, and one thing is quickly coming to the surface. And unfortunately enough for all of us, it's not really creamy or anything like that. It's really just BDS showing face from what we've seen throughout this tournament. Shaiko's at the top, the only player that's positive. The rest of the team having some impact in some very critical moments, but they're not able to keep up. And you look over at the Sonic side of things, and there is so much positivity going on. Gunner! Oh, Shaiko! Bye-bye. Even scoreline as BDS might have just lost the entire plot here on Chalet. Soniqs looking to take their 6th round.
But Gunner, don't overheat, don't lose it! You've got 1 kill, but pressing for more when you don't need is how great teams lose important rounds. But he will give away his life, and that's one player Citizen would have surely liked to be playing alongside him inside of Dining. We know that's what BDS want. We know what this Ram is important for as well. You typically prioritize that snowmobile position if you're Soniqs, but instead 1 boogie drone dedicated to just routing Citizen. out of dining, but Geo upstairs. The soft destruction is not safe just yet. He's playing inside of office, but BDS have 3 different players to cut off his rotations. Geo on a high-flying wire on Chalet, and can he hit the balancing act? Citizen can certainly hit the shots. SQ still hold the lead.
Geo is such a distracting factor here. He'll finally go down to BDS, but the job has essentially been done. It's down to a 3 versus 3, and they really don't have the entry capability that they once had. One of these players on BDS is going to have to be the spearhead to get them into the basement.
We know it's possible. Renshiro might not be having a great game, but he's been so consistent for years. Alems as well on this roster. 3 years strong. Even if Shaiko might not be putting up the numbers, Alems can still go huge in these rounds. He's still got the great utility too, to open up holes overlooking the garage position. So much potential soft destruction just from one singular boogie drone could cut the bomb site in half. It's an even man count. Still have those mirror windows as well. Rexon decides to pop it.
I like that.
Smart play there.
Open things up in case they want to try and work their way in from wine side, which is exactly what they're going to do. They'll have to EMP down low too here, but BDS is going to get this wall open. With 30 seconds remaining, there is no rotation that's going to come out from BDS here. It's all going to be down to the stuns, trying to open things up, and then it's down to what we love most. Gunfights.
Citizen got a hold blue, and Grixo got a hold the wine wall. He does so perfectly. Renshiro cut down. Alem's the only one who can cover, but BDS makes his way in. He's got the goo mine, but he can pull it out. He's got time and put this case on the floor. He's watching dining. What a brilliant heads-up play, but Rexon just evades the angle. He doesn't die yet. Knows he's most powerful when the time is low. He's dodging and weaving this bullets like he's Neo, and he just might win the round. Alems picks up one impactless frag, and the patience from Soniqs allows them to win on time.
Well, you can call Chalet the Matrix because BDS is in here and they cannot get out, Lynx. They are constantly trying to fight fire with fire, but it's never really working out for them. They have the right mindset. They have the right ideas, but it's just not going their way. And it's mostly due to the beautiful gun skill of Soniqs, as well as those minor little adjustments right there, quickly making full sense of what BDS's take is going to be, making those adjustments over the wine side. Again, especially just icing on the cake, that little Mira addition there as they pop that, just make sure they have some extra angles over towards that portion of the map.
That round is also one of many rounds up until this point that Soniqs, both attack and defense, have either by luck or by planning been able to completely minimize Shaiko's impact. When you have a player of this skill, it's often hard to focus on him. It's not a realistic possibility. But the effect of what's happening, whether they mean to do it or not, they've cut down Shaiko on the defense. When he's trying to get aggressive on the office balcony, Soniqs have 2 players watching the angle to shut him down. And Gunner doing what he does best. Soniqs just set Gunner up in a position. They say, all right, you want to do this? You want to get aggressive? We'll give you the resources to succeed. We'll put you on Solus. Go for the run out. If you die, we'll try to make the best of it. But best case scenario, you get one of the best players in the lobby.
Exactly. With players like Gunner, this is when you go, Gunner, go kill people and make things murky. Because if you kill somebody like Shaiko, even if you get traded out, things are more than likely going to build up to a point where your team can solve the equation. And that's exactly what we got. BDS were so flustered. There were so many different things that they couldn't abuse. Most importantly, when you take a wine attack, the verticality. There's so much wood above you, and they don't have enough bodies to try and keep people up top to be able to try and assist them through those means. So what happens? Well, first of all, Soniqs abuse it instead, as they have that player over there on the kitchen hatch, but they also have all of those other things implemented. The Nitro cell, as well as the other 2 hot guns working downstairs.
The energy from Soniqs is infectious.
Dude, it is. I'm feeling it today.
Every single round is like they have won the game. But the stakes cannot be higher for BDS, and you have to wonder if that's weighing on them for Soniqs. Even if they go out in this match, even if they drop Chalet, drop Bank, go down 2-0, 2-1, they're still at SI. They still have Sao Paulo to look forward to. It'll be their major hopes dashed, but the World Championship's still a possibility. For BDS, it's both. The major and the 6 invitational. If they do not make top 4, that legacy, that potential will not be realized.
Maybe in the same boat as M80. And, as I believe Iconic said on Twitter, there was a time for it to happen. You'd want it to happen now before it becomes hammer time of year. So for BDS, is this going to be the beginning of the end? The Soniqs take their map 7-3. Their defenses have been pretty solid through these last 2 defensive rounds. BDS looking like they could have held a candle here for some time, but since then fallen off. And let's see what they can do, especially with Shaiko still up and about.
And it's important to remember they're not out of this. They've taken their time out. And they're attacking on Chalet 3 rounds in a row. It's happened plenty of times. It happened with W7M earlier. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to say that the two teams in this lobby, even if they might not be on the exact same level, we're all W7M are major champions. They're certainly contenders for the trophy. Good teams to have in the grand finals. BDS can surely win 3 Chalet attacks in a row if they've cooled their heads, talked over their strategy, and have a game plan for what to do in round 10. They're going for that library clear, but with half the round gone, they need to start pushing Gunnar, pushing Rexen out of their positions on the top floor.
They're going to have EFAC, I do believe, all the way downstairs as well, too. Alem's moving his way in the fireplace hall right now. Brady is going to try and smoke things up on the initial angle. Could try and pre-fire things as they swing in, but it's going to be Warden, so Grixer can actually use this to its fullest advantage. Somebody's inside. Alems just walks in and kills Grixer. Nobody's paying attention to the front door.
Now everyone from Soniqs has to go for the retake. Citizen finds one behind the bar bomb, so 4v4. He can find outside the window, too. The diffuser planter, though. Capitao only gets 1. It's cost a lot of HP, but Soniqs have the advantage. But sitting outside this window is Renshiro and LickyFac as well on the other side. Even if Renshiro goes down, do they know about LickyFac's position? He's been waiting the whole round, but Renshi's got to hold it down. Got to keep their attention, keep Soniqs aggro for just a little bit longer. Geo starts the defuse. LickyFac reveals his position. Renshiro's got to land this kill. Landed, he does, but Rexen trades. LickyFac finds one. Where's Gunnar? What is he to do? He's all the way outside. He hops back in, and LickyFac's got the angle, but there's not enough time for Gunnar to defuse. BDS hold on. They've still got a shot at pulling out Chalet.
And the insane thing to that round right there is that if Gunnar doesn't go for some high-flying antics outside, there is a realm where he just kills EFAC when he comes inside of the actual site. But Soniqs, they're trying to solve a lot of these issues. And one of the big things being that outside presence, right? It's always so difficult in that post plant to try and deal with that window player. And they, well, they get it done, essentially, right? But obviously, EFAC having that last layer there as he snuck in from Fireplace Hall. All things considered, a great round there from BDS, especially from Alems, spotting the gap in the defense and being more than willing to take it.
And that's always the beauty of BDS, even if they have such a powerful player. This team knows how to find those gaps. They know when they should hit the go button. Alems, LickyFac. I mean, LickyFac brought on this roster specifically to add exactly what he did. The patience game, but also the knowledge, the ability to know when you need to hold back to make a play later in the round. That's how he won this. That's how he worked it down from a 1v2 to a 1v0 to keep BDS in the contest on Chalet. They have to do it 2 more times. That's a big momentum booster for BDS as they now move to attack Kitchen and Dining.
Will also beg the question as to how Soniqs will try and fill in those gaps later on. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, especially as they are going to shift gears on over to Kitchen, so a completely different look, and really won't have to be concerned about the, things in the exact same way. Speaking of being concerned, BDS more than likely concerned with this top hold that the Soniqs have going on. Some solid utility to try and back this up here as well, as they'll pre-fire in, but none of those bullets going to land home.
Gio will back off, but he is the only person on the site right now, so SQ, make sure you don't leave any gaps for Alems to spot this time, as Gio might be good. BDS overwhelming him on the site might just be better. There are plenty of players on that top floor from Soniqs who have those vertical angles, have the hatch back to the site. They will force the clear from BDS. Gio does lose a lot of HP though. As Shaiko, no, he is just moving on in. He's decided to take this 1v1, make Gio concerned. I'm apologizing. I was not familiar with your game, Gio, as Shaiko doesn't stand a chance. Renshiro wraps around, though. That's still the site clear. They do find the potential gap, and Alems plants behind the A-bomb. He's not visible from that hatch. And Soniqs, they've got no idea we're in a post plant. Vertical angles opened up. Gunnar can't find Alems. He retreats out the trophy window. He's just got to make it outside. Renshiro finds another, playing inside of the dining position. Rix was able to down him through the wall. A 3v3. Alems, barely dodging it. Somehow the victor in that engagement, despite it costing almost all of his HP. Gunner's now worked his way down, knows someone's west main, but he's not even ADS'd when he takes the gunfight. Citizen releases a sound cue as his feet hit the floor. Diffuser ticking down, and no intel for Citizen to play with. 2 plants in a row, 2 big wins from BDS. And now, in round 12, whoever wins will still have a shot later in the series.
And I say they don't have to be concerned about things in the same way, but it happens the exact same way. Citizen and the rest of the gang are so focused on what's going on upstairs. There's practically a singular soul in sight, and they carve him out of there, although Gio, fantastic shot onto Shaiko, but Renshi immediately runs back in and is able to get that refrag. Opens up the site and the potential for a plant. This is going to proc a Soniqs timeout. I mean, really, honestly, all Soniqs needed in that moment was a Solus upstairs, and they probably killed a planter, and that case is cold inside a kitchen.
It's also just great play from BDS. They send Shaiko to do his thing, and, well, Gio doesn't let it happen, surprisingly. I mean, it's just Shaiko you're peeking, and somehow it works. But then it's not a solo play. It's not Shaiko going off the plan. They have Renshiro to hit that trade, to catch Gio off guard. Excellent adaptation for BDS. It's 2 rounds now. They have found an empty Sonic site setup, or at least a very minimally held Sonic site setup. Exploited that, got 2 big attacks off of it. I imagine Sonics are talking about that very thing. God is saying, all right, first off, let's calm down. Still on match point. Still just 1 round necessary to win this. But more importantly, let's make sure that if Gio's on the bomb site, he has the support he needs, where if he's getting pushed, we can start retaking, start making sure that BDS aren't in the position to set up where they're strongest.
Okay, so through this timeout, Soniqs have decided to go to Barn Gaming. Honestly, not a bad decision. You know what BDS went for the last time. They know what they can try and fix up. And with that timeout, they'll be able to consider a lot more things instead of their adjustments. So we'll see exactly how they want to go about it. Grixer's going to dedicate some reinforcements downstairs just to make sure that you can't quickly move your way in. That's one of the main lines that we've seen throughout the history of this map. Just pop Snowmobile, make your way up main stairs. But going to be a little bit more difficult for BDS with those there now. As for the rest of this, though, the Sonics should be dedicating themselves towards Library. We're going to see the deployable shield here for Rexon over towards blue. Probably partnering with a little bit of utility from Gunner. Be a dread mine here or there. Be all in a big assisting effort to try and hold things down on that top level.
My magnets will protect us.
Gunner trying his best to channel that aggression he's so famous for on these defenses. He is the most aggressive player whenever Sonics are on this side, constantly going for spawn peaks, constantly the one to try to make big hero plays, supported by his team, of course, but still the one who likely has the most confidence, it feels like, to go for those gunfights early on, but nobody from BDS bites. It's a pretty tight-knit defense from Sonics. It might not appear so on first glance, but Gio has someone close by and dining to give him a bridge back to the bomb site. Rexon as well on Library Stairs will allow anybody playing on the top floor to rotate down safely. Sonics just spreading out as far as they can without stretching themselves too thin.
All in an effort to see where this take is going to come in from BDS. So a little bit of audio here, maybe a drone rolling through there. All pieces to the puzzle that these professional players can put together, trying to assist each other with that info matrix. Lots of goo mines around this area. Not gonna try and deal with those too much. Just gonna try and get this camera here for themselves. Shaiko, he's hopped inside of Mudroom. Does have this single panel that he does have to try and deal with, but shouldn't be too difficult for him. He's just gonna try and hold on to this for the time being and wait for the rest of his team to try and wrap around.
LickyFac also down below in the basement. Gio as well. Whether they know about each other's presence, we'll find out at some point in the round. I have to imagine LickyFac placing down a Claymore in blue. Gio instead, no, he will push deeper. Citizen finds Shaiko inside a mudroom. That's such a nice find. LickyFac now pushing up the stairs, cuts down Citizen. Him and Alems now both pressuring the bomb site very early on. 3v3 acquired. Gio will rotate up Fireplace instead to try to bolster the on-site defense. Rexon holding down Library. Gio is the only one actually on the first floor. Instead, the other 2 defenders trying to stop any potential diffuser from going down via those vertical angles. That's a nice firebolt from Bride.
Oh man, this is it.
He's got him shut down.
That gets the shot. Rexon with a big one though. We'll trade things back and forth. The plant, it's all onto Bride. Does he stick this in the 2 versus 1? He will. Gunner's not gonna drop down just yet. Bride with a chance.
Just a chance. Just a 1v2. A position amongst the clutch ministers in Europe. Bride has found himself in plenty of times. LickyFac was there earlier. And now it's Bride's job to do what he did on Baron Games. He's spotted and put to 1 HP. He backs off out the window, the safe position, but also a far angle. The diffuser's on the opposite side of the wall. He's gonna need to pre-fire through it and bait Soniqs for just a little longer. Intel found on Gunner. They've not hit the defuse yet. They don't know he's outside. Rexon shooting every which way. Just a little bit left. Just a couple more shots need to land for BDS. Will he find him through the wall? Gunner down! An impactless kill, as impactless gets. But for BDS, it sends BDS to overtime.
What an insane moment there from BDS. One of the best supports in the entire world. And what a clutch from him. Soniqs just not willing to try and dedicate themselves harshly to the site in that 1vx there for BDS. Really needed the info as to where he went, but just could not find him. And finally, once they actually do start donning the case, Lynx, there's only about 10 to 15 seconds remaining. That's not a lot of time for BDS to have to deal with. And well, you reap what you sow. The Soniqs will allow overtime here up against BDS.
And it's that decision to hop outside the window ultimately what does it for BDS. And I mean, for Soniqs, if one more bullet hits, just one bullet, it's 7-5. Soniqs have won their map pick, but now that's not the case. And when teams drop around as important as that, it's such a volatile state for the mentality. The worry that you might not win, but for BDS, they have never felt more secure.
I think EFAC was all of us in that moment. Just holding on for dear life to that headset. And very scary one for the Soniqs, but there is still a game to be played, folks. Welcome to overtime here, just for an update on you guys on how this works, in case you were a little bit newer to the audience. It's 3 rounds, best of 3. We're gonna switch sides every single time. So BDS will be starting us out on offense. We're gonna be going over to defense for this follow-up round. Doesn't matter who wins.
It's a nice mirror window as it's now popped by Grixer. Mav tricking the wall will not be enough, as it will give an angle to LickyFac if he moves up to that wall. So if they want to open up the snowmobile wall now, they will need to actually dedicate some Soma charges from BDS. Unless LickyFac has even fancier footwork than Citizen did on Soniqs' attacking side. So good little placement to trip up what BDS were going for. But BDS also very much focused on the wine side instead. BDS have played a slow early round, gathered the intel, set up their angles, but once they feel ready, even it's a minute and a half left in the round, they have sent it and not looked back.
This has been great from BDS, especially with the comeback there. 3 rounds in a row. Can make it 4 here if they can on the offensive side. Shaiko back on the tried and true G36C in hand and the hollow sight. I don't think you can get any more Shaiko than that. Reaching charge in, or rather round from the Ash. Trying to clean up a little bit of barbed wire and any essential pieces of utility around the space. EFAC will be able to at least get this piece of barb over here on West Main, and you can see all of BDS, for the most part, are around this portion of the building. A lot of time remaining, really looking to see if they can get the big kill to open up this site.
They're getting there right, that's it! That's the kill they needed. Citizen cut down in blue. There is still Rexon inside of the site. He's playing inside of that cubby in the middle of the pillar. He's flashed. But if BDS don't know, it's a clunky gunfight. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the surprise might be enough. Soniqs also had the vertical position. Gunner hitting the flank. Will it land on West Main? Is he biding his time? Yes, he is. BDS no, but so do Alems. He's moved inside of the site. He's got the bomb down. They smoked it off, but there's Rexon. He gets the kill he needed, but BDS still have the lead. It's Geo alone inside the site. They've shut down the diffuser, but everyone from BDS seems to have some sort of multi-kill. Gunner can't see where his attacker is coming from. Match point for BDS. They've won 4 in a row, and a 5th seems oh so likely.
And never in a million years did you think that the Dread Mine would play back onto the defense and make it to where Gunner just simply couldn't see his target. But once again, BDS not requiring a lot inside of that moment. That was the most straightforward wine attack you can get. They didn't do anything with the upstairs, no influence from the hatch. All they had was that one West Main player just to spot check things and make sure that there wasn't a player like Gunner that could potentially shut things down once they started to swing in. But obviously the big highlight there being Shaiko with a quad kill on his highlight operator on the offensive side.
And Shaiko with a quad kill, but I think you got to give credit to a lot of BDS, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that because in Siege, if I think it's like if you down someone and somebody else finishes them off, it like shows up as somebody else. Everyone was shooting in that execute. Shaiko might have got the 4K overall, but Bride helping Shaiko in those engagements, Alems, but Shiro helping Shaiko in those engagements. Everyone from BDS knew what they needed to do to win that execute, to win that hectic engagement. And even though the Dreadmine was still alive, still somehow sneaking into the bomb site. And even with Rexon's play working out, even with his ability to deny the diffuser, if everyone from BDS is not hitting those shots in that round, Soniqs might very well have taken it, but instead, they need to win 2 in a row on their own map pick now to beat BDS 8-7, or else they will go into bank with something worse than a map loss. A very, very worried mental.
Yes, yes indeed. And that's been the biggest thing, is that their mental has been slowly draining. They were on the hype train there for a while, but it's starting to run out of gas. And exactly, Lynx. It's very quiet over there right now. And as for BDS, I mean, nothing but smiles. And why wouldn't you be? 4 rounds in a row here. A lot of solid considerations need to be taken in for the Soniqs as they'll be facing the offensive side here on Chalet for the first time in a long time.
It's been an attacker side of games so far. It's been a 4-2 for both sides. The attack has had a bit of an easier time. And even BDS on those defenses, both those basement rounds, it has ultimately come down to what Shaiko can do on taking those engagements. So that's the worry I have for BDS, is that if it wasn't basement, BDS really struggled. If it was basement, it was really only Shaiko who was having a lot of the impact. Obviously, Renshiro clutched that 1v2, right? Obviously, he hit that 1vx. He has a lot of credit for winning that final basement defense. But everything else, every other kill, I would say, was basically Shaiko in both of those rounds. So if you're BDS on this defense, or if you're Soniqs at the attack, you're looking to how top-heavy the performance in those 2 wins was, and whether or not that's replicable, and if it's not, what you can do to either make it more consistent, whether you're the attack or the defense.
Yeah, most definitely. The key thing is that I really like the adjustment that we saw to BDS on their offense. It's like, just to put it, really easy for everybody, it's just keep it simple, stupid, right? I mean, they're not overthinking how the map works. They know they want to go for a wine side offense, for instance, in that last one, and they walk 4 people in big garage and trench, start torching things open, get new lines of sight, and start influencing these defenders. And the key thing being that Shaiko, more than willing to swing the door on a completely dry peak, pre-fires blue, and decapitates Citizen instantaneously. And nobody's on the far pillar to try and refrag him. That would have been a huge moment there for the Soniqs if they could have something implemented for that, but I don't think that they were ready for BDS to have that huge swarm building up on that side so quickly.
We're back into it, folks. For Soniqs, that might not be as much of a blessing as it is for us. Rex and Grix are obviously having a great game, but for the team, it has never been more dire. Because this isn't just some random team. This isn't some nobody that you can underestimate and maybe still win the game. Though for Soniqs against BD, that still was a mistake. This is BDS. This is a team who knows how to exploit your weaknesses. They've done it. 4 rounds in a row, they've done it.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Now you need to do it to them. Basement defense chosen from BDS. Remember, this is the site we talked about that was so incumbent upon Shaiko, so contingent upon him to go huge. It got them 2 rounds, but
almost
it was still
half of his kills, actually, just put this out there, almost half of Shaiko's kills have came from him playing downstairs inside of garage. So if there was a moment for BDS to try and pull it across the line and take Chalet, take Soniqs' map pick away from them, it's more than likely going to be on this basement side.
Cade Claw incoming, but
this is a hard one.
Yeah, it's already difficult when you're not dealing with the EMP trick, but with it, it's nigh impossible. Good attempt by Bride. He still got 1 more to dedicate to a different position, and there are Hibana charges. Those are so much easier to Electroclaw trick. And Bride should be fine to delay elsewhere. Rexon slowly creeping around the library window. He was hunting for a Licky Fact, doesn't find it, but a C4 prepped underneath the single window. Does Geo know? Yes, he does. It detonates, and Geo, very thankful he made the decision to stay outside today.
Not something that us gamers do very often, but Gio gets some sun on his face instead. A little shrapnel. That's going to give the entire top floor over here to the Soniqs. A lot of BDS down low now. We have 4 bodies here. Make that 5 as Alems drops in. Was playing kitchen there for a while, but they're going to fully dedicate themselves to the turtle as they're already halfway through this round. This is a natural cadence of siege on the roam game.
It's also, for Soniqs, a similar position.
Shaiko is in the exact same spot that he was in the previous round. He's playing right on the shelf, right here to the left. But Gio knows. That's why Gio's on the Monty. He's like, I can almost guarantee you he's going to be playing around the same location. Oh my! Shaiko's getting dangerous. He's flirting with it. Moves back in. Knows that player's going to be pushing down the stairs again and again and again. Shaiko makes the most out of the moment.
But Gunnar pushes in and cuts him down. That's the kill that needed to happen. Shaiko has been the win condition for BDS on these basement defenses, and now he's gone, and now Soniqs have a lead. Gio and Alems both on low HP, but one of those significantly more important. If Gio goes down, Soniqs might have to recover the diffuser and send somebody else to put the plant, and then there's only 2 guns to deal with BDS's 3. Rexon holding down the blue flank, making sure no one can peek the snowmobile from the blue door. Grix are trying to find a place for him on this attack. Will it be down that hatch? He's sending some flashes in. Another one as Gio moves to put the diffuser down. Will anybody from BDS stop it? Nobody pushing. They've successfully staved off the defense. The C4 even gets caught on the door despite it being a second too late. Rexon with 3 to finish off round 14. Soniqs might have to go back to the defense, but at least they've got a chance.
And at a bare minimum, at least they've put up a fight here on Chalet. If BDS wants it, they're going to have to take it from Soniqs' cold, dead hands, Lynx. It's going to require all 15 on our first map in this best of 3. And in case you thought North America was going quietly into the night, it's not happening. We're taking it to the French.
And taking it to 15.
Ben, you can make holes in Master.
You can hear them setting it up.
And that's that energy that we were talking about. That was a little lacking on those, defensive sides from Soniqs. But you can see all it requires is a little energy basis to work from. And everybody is ready and set for war. What a find there from Rexon too. He's completely blinded by the dread mine there and still more than capable of sending shots downrange and finding his target. 7-7 now. I know one guy in the world, probably Super, sweating bullets.
I think NA fans in general sweating bullets with this game. Dark Zero keeping close 8-7 to even make playoffs over Bleed, and now
gonna be out of fingernails and hair by the end of this one.
Oh yeah, it's been a rough go at it from us from North America, and Soniqs, well, they're not looking to make it any easier. 1 round, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Who will take Chalet? If it's Soniqs, they'll win their own pick, but if it's BDS, they will move into Bank as confident as they can be. It isn't to say SQ don't have a chance on Bank. They've certainly played it quite a few times in the NAL. It's still known to be a strong map for them, even if it's not one of their favorites, but it's still BDS's pick. It's still what they felt comfortable on. BDS have a staff behind them that I'm sure will have answers to whatever Soniqs throw at them. But for now, on Chalet, what are BDS to do?
What insane scorelines we've started to build up for both of these respective teams. You can see BDS starting to see if they can poke and prod in the site. Shaiko's over on West Main again. This is where we saw him enter the last time and try and go for this frag. But Soniqs, they know that this could be the potential future that BDS is looking for. And they've placed some more bodies inside of sight.
The late round reinforcement. Love it from Soniqs. From BDS, though, they were trying to cause so much concern for Soniqs that as they rotated, they might have walked in front of Shaiko, walked in front of Bride, holding the trophy window. And Soniqs does rotate back. They do move some people down to the bottom floor, but it's not enough. Soniqs keep their composure, and they'll be thankful they did, because not only is it still a 5v5, but they've not even given up the roam. Still 3 players up top.
Really just needed that extra body down low to support Gio if they do want to try and swing at the site, and that's what they've done, right? They put Gunnar down here as that supporting agent, and all of this verticality is going to be so assisting to their overall setup as BDS enters now.
And he hops on in. Dreadmine reveals the position of at least one of these attackers. Will the vertical angles work for Soniqs? Gio finds one on the site. He's close with a shotgun too. From that long range, he downs Shaiko, but Alems keeps BDS in the game. It's a 3v3, and Alems on low HP, but for BDS players, that's not seemed to matter in a lot of key moments in these engagements. A pause. BDS have part of the bomb site, but not all of it. They're stuck in Trophy, they're stuck in West Main. They've not actually moved in yet, and Soniqs recognize this.
Well, low HP for two of these players. But the pivotal position working out from Soniqs Lynx, it's making them sweat. A calm in the storm, because if BDS does try and flood the gates, they more than likely lose the round. They have to try and deal with this top hold now, but such little time. In fact, what can you do here? Has to try and get aggressive eventually. This timer is eating at them. He pre-fires through upstairs. Alem's trying to get some extra information for them as well. Here we go. A big moment from Rexon. He'll equalize here in the 3 versus 3.
And Shaiko low HP again. This can be very quickly a 3v2, but Shaiko's made it in. Brede as well. They're watching the hatch. The main vertical angle to deny this plant. Licky back on this lurk has finally found his kill. Just barely survives. Rexon cuts him down, but it's all a distraction. 19 and 9. Him and Citizen both putting up big numbers, have put it all on Shaiko. The star BDS, and it doesn't matter! Through the ceiling, they send bullets down, raining upon Shaiko, and by the skin of their teeth, and with a little bit of luck, Soniqs take their pick, 8-7.
It's a Herculean effort up against the French powerhouse it is BDS. But Soniqs, with that energy, Gunner especially, popping off right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we know you want to get to map 2. We're going to send you to a break.
Hi, I'm Joshua Mills, and this is Siege Intels. Shields have the power fantasy to transform you into a bulwark of defense for your teammates throughout the round. They can also help you take map control, hold angles, keep your opponent's attention, all while opening up windows of opportunity for your teammates to make that perfect execution. The current systems of our Shield gameplay do not embody the player fantasy that we're trying to achieve. That's why we're reworking those systems and resetting the foundation of what it is to be a Shield operator and who can be one. It is and has been a long process. We want to change their use, but without breaking the current state of the game. And this is why we've decided to move this feature to a later date. But you can help refine this change in a special test server next season. More information will be shared at the reveal panel. Tune in.
Oh, hello guys, my name is Alemao and I play for G2 Esports and I'm so ready to play Siege Sounds.
How I know the game? Perfectly, I'm professional guys. We are not here to have fun, it's just the job.
You think you're going to beat the other teams?
Probably not.
How well do you know the maps?
I mean, I don't think I know them perfectly, to be honest. I mean,
if I hear something about maps, every maps, all the game, I will. It's easy for me, like this.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I was born ready.
Yeah. Let me vibes on it. I need to feel the sounds.
So I want to say it's bank.
It's border. In the sky, it's a helicopter, easy.
And I think it's helicopters in border. Oh.
What? Tank? You're kidding me.
There! It's border.
I want to say it's border.
Must be border again. It's border again. Can't fool me. Knew it.
Because of the sound I hear, I think it's like, could be Chalet.
It's fucking Jason, the guy with the... He's not Siege.
If I had to go with a map, I'd probably say Oregon.
Theme park.
Oh, theme park is not on the... No, theme park is out!
Ah, man. Where is this? Cafe, spawn cafe. On the police cars. Must be.
I'm thinking it's Consulate.
Maybe Clubhouse.
I think it's Oregon, outside lobby door. I changed my answer. Yeah, I cheated.
Clubhouse. I see. I forgot about Clubhouse. That's another map.
Must be Oregon. Must be Oregon outside main door, for sure.
Could be Consulate, but I'm not sure.
See, I want to say Consulate again. I mean, I don't think it's front door spawn, but it's Consulate.
Okay, but you've got 1 out of 5. How are you feeling?
It's not bad, 1 out of 5. Could be 0, right? You have to think. You have to see the glass half full, not half empty.
Half full with 1 out of 5?
Kind of like 20% full.
Thanks for watching. See you at the major. Support Wolves because we are the best. And if you don't, we don't like you very much. Thank you.
As a viewer, you really could not have asked for a better opening to this series. Soniqs and BDS going to overtime, all 15 rounds required in order to figure out who is going to progress through the rest of this Swiss bracket. And the Soniqs have taken their own map pick, but boy, was it a struggle. BDS took them all the way down to the very, very end. It took a tech pause and some clutches rounds and a whole bunch of other shindigs in order for them to figure things out, but the Soniqs got everything done. That was a hell of a first map, guys.
That was quite literally a hell in a cell.
Oh, absolutely. The back and forth towards the end had my heart racing.
Yeah, we were watching it in the back. I think every time something brand new happened, it's like we don't know who's going to win this thing. We're trying to figure out what clips we can even show.
I don't know how many clips we tried grabbing, because originally we were like, oh, let's go for Soniqs.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
wait,
okay.
hold up a second.
Hold on now.
We need BDS, and then it was like, oh my God, Soniqs.
Wait, back to
clutching
Soniqs.
the overtimes.
Nah, it was a lot of back and forth, but I have a specific clip that I do want to talk about, because in this defining moment where I think SQ wins this round perfectly here, it gets chaotic. We all heard it. We were in the back. We were at the telestration. You hear Gio, and I quote, he yells, "Shut the hell up," and everyone becomes super quiet. And that just gives you an idea how intense that round was. And then you hear Gio just deliver the strat, the setup, and how they were going to close out that round. Executed it beautifully. They closed out that round and pushed it even further ahead.
He was so authoritative. It didn't just get everyone on Soniqs to listen to him. Everyone in the building just shut up and listen to what he was preaching.
Yes, and sometimes, I mean, as players, we know it gets intense like that, and sometimes something just has to be said that rings in everyone's ear, and it's like, okay, I just got to relax. I got to calm down.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, especially towards those overtime rounds. There's actually another clip that we wanted to show, which was the round before, and the reason why this Gio clip was so important was because this clip looked like Soniqs was in the driver's seat. They had the case down right in front of the game's window, and it was coming down to a 2v2 situation. They ended up making it a 1v2 where Brit had to go outside the window, but right before they were about to go for the defuse, there was actually a comm screaming, he's bar, he's bar. So that's why they stalled so long and they had no idea where Braid actually was. He was outside the window. He saw both of them. Nice wall bang to clean up and bring it to OT.
Yep.
So it was so perfect that Gio in that next round, especially when they were down 7-6, he was able to calm everybody down, bring it back to ground zero, and secure Soniqs, you know, going back into 7-7 and then the last round.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing to note about this is we picked those two clips because it's really difficult to distill this entire game down into just those two because it was a success for both teams. We had to go to all 15 rounds. It was really close, but as good as some of those plays were, neither of these teams were completely mistake-free.
No, not by any means. And I mean, you got to run with Soniqs beginning like they were running the show.
Yeah.
And then we thought we were going to be up here early, and then all of a sudden you just saw BDS climb back. But I don't even want to say that people were necessarily making mistakes, that some teams just start to ramp up and they start to excel, and you would expect that from both these teams.
Yep.
Expect it from BDS. And what's better than watching an intense game go to the very last round?
Both teams' attacks were really good. Soniqs had a really fast pace, getting their picks, getting the position that they needed.
Rexon almost dropped a 20 bomb too.
Wow.
Rexon was having an amazing game. I love hearing Calm. I love hearing him speak and just call strats, and also having the leadership from Gio to be able to keep it nice and calm. Bank's gonna be a crazy one.
The fact that we even have to worry about transitioning into a map 2 at this point. Okay, talk to me about something real fast. You play a map that's that crazy and that hectic. It goes to round 15 and you lose it. You're going into your own map pick now if you're BDS, if you're trying to get inside their mind, but what do you do to make sure you stay calm and don't let that first map loss get to you?
Both teams are fixing the mistakes that they were making, that they were losing in those previous games, because there's nothing more that you can say going into the next game. You can't feel too good. You can't feel too bad. It was a very close game. One minor mess up could have completely altered those rounds and win in another favor another team.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's just resetting your mental and treating it as it's a 0-0 on the board and just focusing on what you can.
I mean, is it as simple as just like resetting that adrenaline high though? Because those guys were pumped up even though they lost.
I'll let you take that.
It's not as simple as resetting. I mean, if everyone really wants to win at the end of the day, they're going to be able to calm themselves down. Obviously, going into a game plan, BDS, Bank, it is their map. The biggest thing right now is the attacks. Both teams are firing on all cylinders on attacks. The defenses is the biggest question. If they can switch up maybe a little bit. No team's been able to hold any solidified point and lock down a defensive round, really. All the attacks all the time.
All right. BDS's pick. Do we think this bad boy has enough fire to take us to a map 3, or do you think Soniqs close it here?
I said that it was probably going to go the full distance. I thought they were going to win their respective maps.
All right. So map 3?
I think BDS had to win first map. I think Soniqs 2-0s.
You think Soniqs 2-0s?
Yeah.
You think that's it?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Super Rhinos Co-Stream's going to be really, really happy to hear you have said that one, except you've cursed them. So congratulations to... Actually, you know what? The desk is split. So at this point, it's any man's game. Stokes and Lynx take us to map 2. Have fun.
Well, let me tell you, we had to take a breather ourselves, because that first map, I think I got some gray hairs in my beard now. I'm only 26, but I'm going to look 35 by the end of this. So
actually, you might be shocked. I actually am 40 now.
Well, hopefully you don't die here on Bank, because I think Fox A presented a great point. It's been all offense all the time. And when you look at Bank, that's one of these maps that it's bred and designed for this kind of play. These offenses can be so dominant. They can be so volatile to these setups, to these roam games. It's going to be down to those key moments where the defense can really make it shine, come through to be able to pick up those key rounds. Don't let things slip too far away. Now, do remember, this is BDS's selection, so that means that the Soniqs get to start on offense.
That is a nice little benefit, of course. And for Soniqs, again, they have played Bank before. They haven't been a big fan of it compared to, say, maps like Chalet. But it is a map that they are still somewhat comfortable on, especially in comparison to maps like Cafe that they really have not liked to go to in the past stage or two of the NAL. The BDS, of course, not a map that they've played, at least in stage 2, all that much. But if they're bringing it out against Soniqs with elimination on the line, they've got to have something prepped. At least you've hoped, but I think for BDS, we can assume they will have a lot of cards up their sleeve. Fans coming in, I am shocked. On a map as large as Bank, with SQ starting on the attack, BDS have decided to ban Dokkaebi.
probably the smartest ban that they could make in a situation like this. This is going to force them to have to clear things out throughout the entire map with drones, whereas with Okabe, you don't really have to do the same thing. You can kind of streamline your clear, especially with those logic bombs. That's why for some newer viewers, it's a little confusing, right? You see that first logic bomb come out and nobody moves. You're like, what's happening right now? Well, everybody's on drones trying to figure things out for their team and seeing where those gaps are. As for the rest of these bans, though, to wrap things up on the offensive side at least, we've got Nook banned out, and this is a really, really solid ban because this is one of her best maps in the whole game.
It is one of her best maps, and there was a period of time where it felt like she was brought every single round, especially back in, the Berlin era with Rogue making their run at that major.
Well, she was always brought if your name was Aces.
Oh, yeah, or brought if your name was Crying.
That's true.
On Rogue at the time, now Koi. But on this map in particular, is she as picked as she once was? No, but it's a comfort op for a player like LickyFack, who on a map this big, there are so many different potential gaps you could hit, so many avenues you could walk through. Getting rid of that Nook, even though BDS starting on the defense, it doesn't really matter. You just don't want to deal with it. Azami and Valk are 2 bans, so basically the same as it was on Chalet. We've got the Fenrir, the Soulless not being brought, but still, some power defenders that are normally seen on a map like Bang. And to fill a similar role to the Soulless, we will have LickyFack on that Pulse. And, I mean, Pulse, Bank, Lockers, he's probably playing in gold.
The math is mathin' right now, let me tell you. And yeah, that's a hot-to-trot location for Pulse as he's able to read things out on the blue stairs, which is a really, really pivotal position. He's also able to tell you when the person gets off plant or really what happens with the interactions over there. But with that being said, folks, we're into round 1. I don't even have to say this for one or the other region because collectively we are all sweating bullets right now. Let's just have a good time. I just hope everyone has fun, Lynx.
I do too. I do too. But I imagine this reaches a point where things are so on the line, where things are so serious. Fun doesn't even factor into it. It's like in Raging Bull, if you've seen. When you're competing, it almost like it's like you get transported to a different plane of existence. The world just kind of melts away, and you're in this state where you can just only see a little bit in front of you, see your opponent, and just barely figure out what you need to do. For Soniqs right now, it won't be a roam clear, a full clear of Bank they'll have to figure out, as you need to acquire a lot of this map control, especially when you're attacking lockers. You need to dispatch those roamers that are playing on the middle floor. Minute in, and Soniqs are already making good progress. They've moved into the square double door and are looking to put pressure on players like Alems and Elevator, but more importantly, Shaiko inside of
Oh, EFAC is not going to be waiting downstairs. Instead, he's going to be on the mid-level, and I really like this a lot, Carter, because a lot of teams start off with a CEO clear on things, but he's been droned out now. So there's going to be potentially a little bit of a problem. They know EFAC's in this area. They know it's a Pulse. They're more than likely going to try and get to some hard ground very quickly. Rexen, some solid damage over to Alems, but EFAC, he tries to slip through the cracks and he'll go down.
And Alems is backed off into Elevator. He's not able to trade that kill, but Shaiko slowly creeps out, revives LickyFack, because the rest of Soniqs, knowing that there's somebody inside of Elevator, don't want to risk it and confirm that kill. So we still have a 5v5, but a lot of damage done to that Pulse. More importantly for Soniqs, though, the open area players have retreated, but over half the round is gone. 1 minute and 50 seconds before Rexen drops down the stock hatch.
Yeah, but the key thing here is that with the roam game that BDS had set up, the hatch is already handled for them. So they don't have to worry about that. Now it's all about getting players in positions, get these chess pieces set up, and start trying to flirt with this plant. You have to get Bride's utility out. You have to get rid of these nitro cells.
As long as they can do it in the proper amount of time, it'll work. But Bride has 30 seconds of denial in his pocket. And we're reaching the critical moment where Soniqs, if they let it slip a little longer, as long as Bride hits them, they'll be okay. Gunner, not even opening up the wall just yet, shooting those X-Kairos. Instead, using the Selmas. They want to allocate this utility instead, create a bigger breach, and then use the X-Kairos to open up an angle on the sidewall to deny anybody rotating across. 17 seconds left. Big first pick from Rexen as he flanks down the marble stairs. 2 different players cut down, and Shaiko's distracted as he moves to push up. Citizen is there to trade for Renshiro, an equally large double kill. Now Citizen has to pick up the diffuser, and Grixer is the only one who can cover. Still 2 C4s. It doesn't get the planter. Citizen lives. The other one misses too. He just barely threads the needle in a round that still could very well decide the fate of this game. Citizen is protected by God and the plot.
I literally don't even know what I shot.
just set up and shot the fucking Red Hall, bro.
Fucking bot-ass retard guy. He got shit on.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That is one of the most insane endings to a round I have ever witnessed in my entire life, Lynx. I've been casting this game for almost 5 years.
It just, I mean,
it just hit ya.
It doesn't get close.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're talking about a game of millimeters. Like, that nitro cell lands on the front side of the bomb chassis. No splash damage dealt to Citizen. That other player goes down due to the gunfight with, I believe, Ace in that moment. And then Citizen, more than capable of taking that 1 versus 1. And around that, even if we tried to get it to go the same way, I highly doubt it would.
Dude, I'm all right.
And that's the first round, man. Dude, Super is going to be the most bald man alive by the end of this, bro. All his beard hair's coming out, like, dude.
I'm 42 now.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm sweating profusely, and I'm not even in this game. Like, there is just so much angst surrounding every single moment, and especially with how that built up. I mean, the Soniqs, yeah, okay, there was still some hatch work to be done, but they did have red hatch, they did have some solid considerations and the pieces there to be able to get that cleaned up quickly. But the big thing is that they start applying pressure towards the actual CCTV area at around like 20-ish seconds. So they have to try and quickly find some answers, use Capitao in a really solid way, as well as that big play coming around Marble Stairs. It all built up to the moment where, yeah, Soniqs did have some realm of possibility with that. But my God, man, Soniqs, they are here to play.
Both teams, it's been a game of finding the gaps and hitting them, and right there, Gunnar just hits a prone angle, looks through the feet holes, and Brede's thinking, nobody's gonna be sitting there. I mean, we're 30 seconds into the round. Nobody's gonna be prone in electrical looking through these minuscule feet holes in the wall. But Gunnar's that guy. He is the guy to just hit prone. And
he's one of them ones.
Yeah, he's like, maybe I get a kill here. Maybe I find someone rotating, and in this case, he does. That's a key site player for BDS now taken down, and instead it's on Renshiro, who, while he got a 2-piece in the first round, didn't end up mattering, and he's definitely been one of the slower players for BDS today. He's now the main guy on site alongside Alem supporting him in Tellers.
We have one upstairs in CEO as well. That's actually going to be EFAC. EFAC is all the way up top square as smoke right now. Toxic Babe out, but going to deal a little bit of damage to Geo. Actually, Geo standing in that for quite some time, actually, so they're going to Adrenal Surge him back up. But EFAC might have an opportunity. He does. He'll take down Grixer. Not really a position that you often see smoke on the roam, but it's working for him.
This is for my NAT2 boys. Shout out to the Poison Special right there. The roaming smoke. Now he's back to the site, a bit more of a traditional position for this operator, and he's still got 2 smoke canisters to work with. As on a Monty push, smoke and C4s, but smokes especially are that operator's worst enemy. And now EFAC is in a position where wherever Geo pushes from, whether it be electrical, but now more towards the printer window, it's a difficult spot. He hops in a goo mine as well. He's got to unshield if he wants to take away that goo mine. Well, whether he does or not, when Shira is able to cut him down, BDS have played a completely consolidated defense no matter the position they're in. And as SQ try to push in, they are cut down every which way.
Yeah, Soniqs really wanted to try and handle things from Square side here, and especially with that big pickup on Brede. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, but, I mean, Gunnar with a triple kill now, and, I mean, a chance at a bare minimum, although he is very low HP. He'll work his way in. Shaiko will nip it in the bud, and that's going to be one big round there from BDS. Just not really a general sense of where BDS was around the map, minus that kill that we saw earlier from Gunnar, but it was all them trying to pull things back across the line from that, especially with EFAC upstairs, getting away with quite a bit of stuff, especially with that big kill under the window player, really set a precedent for how that round was going to go.
EFAC's just one of those players that he can easily be left in the wind, and that is where he's the strongest. Teams all over the world have let him find positions like that. W7M major champs, NAL champs, Soniqs today. Shaiko might be important, but if you're able to find intel on EFAC, that might still be the saving grace of that round, depending on what happens. In that case, he's left inside a CEO, wins a 1v1, and then is able to rotate back to the site to make the push nigh impossible. BDS now rotating down back to lockers after they win their first defense in open area, and it's a bit of a shift because before we had C4s and smokes, and we still do, albeit only one C4, but now we've got the Vulcan packs to deny even more time for
10
BDS.
seconds to go.
And a key factor about the Vulcan packs, too, they do last a long time. We all know that. They last 20 seconds. But they bloom like crazy. They cover so much space, and they can torch your life away in a heartbeat. Another key factor here as well is that BDS has a LEMS. It's going to be the Solus all the way upstairs. And remember what I said earlier in the round, a lot of offensive teams really enjoy starting things off on this top floor and just doing a natural clear all the way through the building.
Is Rixer wearing a BDS charm?
Is he really? Go back to his gun real quick. He just wants to remember who to shoot,
Dude,
so he has it.
I'm telling you, I think I saw the BDS 2022 charm on his gun. It's not that important. Stop sprinting.
Rixer.
Stop sprinting. Stop it. No! I hate this guy. I hate to get him out of here. Get him out of here. It's fine. My curiosity will be satiated another day. But it is a full clear from Sonic, so at least my curiosity will need to be fulfilled at some point in the round because I pretty much know what Sonics are going to do. They're pushing in through square. What do you know? Citizens over there, they're droning all the way from top to bottom, east to west, and then moving down to the middle floor at some point in the round where, what do you know? Liquifac, Alems, are they on different operators? Maybe, but they're holding similar positions.
Yep. Trying to maintain, you guessed it, open area as well as the elevator hallway. The more things change throughout Life Links, the more things stay the same. Been looking at this strategy since like 2018. Different bank too, but all still feels the same every once in a while. Citizen gonna be able to at least tag up, rather get tagged, as in Rexon's case, be able to back BDS off of this mid floor, although they do have to make sure that these drones recognize EFAC inside of elevator.
That's Alems' job, is to make sure that those drones don't spot Liquifac, and even if they do, he's got that ADS, so the pre-fire just barely moves around Gio's head. The move behind the circle desk to evade the 416, the Jackal close by, will signal to Liquifac. He should drop down, especially because we've only got a minute left. 2 minutes have been wasted on this top floor by a very minimal BDS setup. It's barely cost them anything, and they've even done a little bit of damage to Rexon. BDS are in a great position, especially with the ample time denial on site to take round 3.
It's almost down, getting the wall open in better time than what they had the last time. So Sonics will definitely be happy about that, but so much utility to deal with, although they've got a body down on the ground now. Lem's gone, Rexon with a big find, and he's working marble stairs yet again.
That's where he found the big two-piece last time, and even though he was felled eventually by Renshiro, it distracted the BDS defenders alongside, picking up a man advantage, 2 bodies wide. Shaiko focusing on the garage position now as well. Liquifac put to 1 HP. Sonic's trying to get these guns to come alive, but BDS are winning the fights far more often and far more consistently than they did in round 1. Flashbang goes out. Oh, but Gunner on ADS is at a critical moment, but Rexon's still alive. He's got 2 once again, but he's down. That's all he'll get on either locker's defense, and now there's no miraculous clutch from Citizen. His moment is gone. Lead now attained for BDS, as I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
Whoa, 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 compadre. Slow it on down, pump the brakes.
With the pace of this game, man, can you blame me?
Yeah,
Every round feels like it could be a game ender.
Yeah, it does feel like we're warping through time here. Every single one of these situations, every single one of these moments feels like it's taking 10 years, but in a good way. It's not like it's elongated. It's just how much it matters to the overall story for both of these teams. BDS, a successful defensive round downstairs. Have to be very happy about that, as you already got 2 in the backpack here as we enter round 4. Going up to CEO now to see what they can get done after that successful round down low, which Sonics had some solid considerations of, trying to go about things in a similar way that they did last time, but this time around, the shoe was on the other foot in the gunfights.
BDS just able to hold on so much better, and even then the Lockers' defense came down to a 1v1 the first time. The C4, the final C4, just got blocked by the bomb chassis. So for BDS, there's a very possible 3-0 on the board if just one thing goes a little different. These defenses have looked very solid so far. They have a very good understanding of Bank, and if they can get a win on CEO, they will have completed a flawless rotation and will have really put Sonics on the back foot.
Yeah, I've been loving BDS's game plan so far because it has been really slowing up the offense. And that's something that Foxay was worried about on the desk, right? He was worried about these defensive rounds not really coming together for both of these respective squads. But BDS clearly putting a lot of elbow grease into these setups and really considering how teams take control of this map.
Speaking of taking control, we have a Ram. You and I have seen some, at times, questionable boogie drone placement from some teams. That is often when they're trying to attack a first floor bomb site, not necessarily a second floor. There's still stuff destruction to be found. You can use those boogie drones, not necessarily to carve up the floor, but to throw through and instantly destroy barricades, allowing for a very quick, reactive, aggressive play from the attack. We just have to see what Grixer decides to do with it. A minute into the round, it's been very quiet.
Oh, God.
But Soniqs trying to posture over towards Square. Geo very thankful that Shaiko decided to back off that gunfight. And as he re-peeks Grixer, he cuts him down. That's a huge find for Soniqs early on.
Shaiko, he thought he had something. BDS, a lot of value if he's able to kill Geo there, even if he's traded, but not a single piece of damage dealt. Rexon the only one that has any damage dealt to him, and he'll fix that up very quickly with an adrenal surge, but he'll lose his life instead. So those will be down on the ground. 4 versus 4 here as Soniqs try and get a better understanding of the positioning of BDS.
Rexon certainly regretting the lack of knowledge he had as Alems cuts him down. Leaving the stock hall, yep, hopping in through stock. Down goes the Finka from the TCSG. That's been the undoing of quite a few Rexon plays at this point. Citizen, try to retake. Try to move in again. Geo also on the opposite side of Square. Soniqs don't have anything solid just yet. This attack is taking quite a long time. BDS are playing passively. They're letting Soniqs come to them, knowing that if they swing and take these fights, they might be okay. And well, with Licky Fack, he certainly finds one. Gunner now cut down. Alems pushing up the hallway. Fodder for Citizens. G36 inside of stock, but still a 3v3, and we're starting to run out of time.
Low on time and low on hope. There's a lot of utility in place, specifically these yokais that can give them a lot of grief. They're able to play this out on time through that utility. The Soniqs might be in hot water and they don't even know it just yet. Trying to set things up for themselves on this side. The Boogie will go through and open things up. A beautiful crack shot from Geo as he'll take down Bride. It's up to EFAC now and Renshi. Both of them having a pretty bang-up game right now, but the plant commences. He's trying to work his way through checkers, but the angle work, it's too damn good from the Soniqs. They found the gap. They found a home for this planner, but EFAC is going to find the kill on said man. It's a 2 versus 2 now as Grixer rotates through. He's going to be able to take down EFAC here in Janitor. It's all up to Renshi.
There's somebody cutting off his rotation on the CEO window. He knows he's got to take the fight to the player in Square, but that's the difficulty of a CEO plant. Once the attack gets to that rappel, if you don't have someone to jump out, or if you don't hit a miraculous shot, it's just not happening for you.
15 seconds. No rotates, no reinforcements, nothing.
Fucking job.
You can already hear the ego building on Soniqs. They are a team that thrives off that confidence. Gunner in particular.
You gotta have it.
You gotta have it. You gotta have that belief.
People are always like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he would say that. Well, I can. Like, what?
Have you talked to him?
Have you talked to any of these esports pros, man? Like, come on, dude. It's all about ego. That's why we play this game. Have you ever played any competitive game? Dude, alt chat is like the best thing ever.
And we do see, especially from teams like Bleed, some of the alt chat warriors. But from Soniqs, it's verbal at the moment, hyping each other up and doing some trash talking as well, but all with the goal of building up that confidence. 2 attacks have gone the way of Soniqs now. That one definitely looking to be the best, though still not flawless. I think a lot of problems around that stock area, a lot around that square area. They're just able to start pushing in, but because of the long angles held by BDS, they face a lot of problems, but get the necessary kills and do have just enough to push in on some isolated defenders, get the advantage they were looking for, and then move forward.
I think that right there was kind of a highlight reel of how Geo can call around as well. You saw how he set things up for them. They make that rotation. They recognize that these long angles that BDS have set up, they can easily exploit for themselves, and there's also a safe spot on the closer side of the desk for them. So they set up Geo there, set those 2 players in pivotal positions. The highlight of that one being Grixer as he was able to work his way into Janitor completely unbeknownst to BDS.
But open area was certainly a problem for Soniqs, and we'll definitely need some adaptations called, one of which, one of my favorite an unexpected developments in the meta these past 6 months is Rexen on the Amaru, but not just on the Amaru with that Supernova. Just such a lovely addition to the meta. I mean, the ability to fly in, acquire early control in usually a vertical part of the map. Big tower on Oregon, in this case CEO on Bank, is likely where Rexen wants to send it in. And what do you know? Where does he land? Well, square actually. He drops down onto the staircase. SMG-11 in hand instead of the shotgun, but still early control and likely an early gunfight. He spots Alems just around the corner, but such low ammo on that SMG. He's got to switch to his primaries. It's faster than reloading. Takes the gunfight, but despite the intel, Alems has got the headshot, but a big kill from Gunner. He's even the man count. Citizen finally compensates for Rexen fails, and Soniqs had the advantage they were looking for.
BDS didn't know whether to fight or fly. Fortunately enough, they're going to lose 2 big bodies because of this situation.
Changing max.
Well, they do still have enough bodies to be able to maintain things on site, Carter, and that's going to be the biggest piece to this puzzle for them. Although Soniqs will be able to use this timer to its fullest advantage. You can see them trying to wrap themselves around this site right now, and not only that, but they still have Gunner alive, and we know how volatile Ying can be in these executes for the defense.
It forces rotations, it causes uncertainty. There's no one nearby that Candela will affect. That's why she has 4. That's why Gunner feels free to use just 1 on top of the main stairs. On the off chance somebody's there. Citizen, speaking of Gunner, in the position he was in. Gunner was in on that previous open area attack inside of the electrical hallway, but now he's moved upstairs. Candela will blind anybody beneath that hole, but I imagine he would have liked it to bounce off that wall.
Surprised he didn't just try and fuse it through the floor there, if that's what he really wanted, but beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes we forget about these things.
It is a lesser-known feature, but Gunner will not be able to use his Yings in any which way anymore. Shaiko's found one. A nice find on a Renshiro, though. Grixer through one of the Selma holes made inside of the bomb site. Is now opened up Cafe as a potential position to plant, but you have to deal with Greeday. He can still win the round from this position, but he looks the wrong way, but he's not punished until just then when Citizen finds him. Shaiko takes down one, but sees another in small office. These are 2 1v1s. If Grixer gives him away, Citizen, you've got to get the kills! But you're just simply not outgunning Shaiko. If you give him 1v1 after 1v1 after 1v1, what better player is there to win them?
He's the king at the top of the fight tower. Like you said, you want to try and take it to the king, well, you better not miss. Very well done from Shaiko in a moment where it mattered most as well for BDS. Soniqs about to take the lead back for themselves. BDS, and specifically Shaiko, gets it done. So lock it up. And Citizen types in chat, Shaiko, deja vu, And yes, indeed, folks, it was a little deja vu with that beautiful clutch out of Shaiko yet again.
What is he referring to? Is that because
the 1v2, I'm pretty sure earlier from Chalet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Or like that split moment.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what I was thinking of when he said deja vu. I was reminded of the Kansan 1v4 on open area from Bank. Obviously, different teams. Shaiko wasn't playing, but that's what this reminded me of. I mean, bobbing and weaving around these desks, finding isolated 1v1s. Not the same position, and it wasn't a post plant, but there is some similarity. But I think that would stretch the meaning of deja vu.
Yeah, the SMG-11 also much cooler to clutch with. I'm just saying, like, you did it with the T5. I mean, like, what are you, a loser? Come on, man.
Wow. Well, a lot of T5 slander.
A lot of T5 slander coming out of me, huh? Yeah. No, that SMG is really, really good. And that's why you give it to people like Shaiko, because he will make mincemeat out of his opponent just like that. And also, if you guys caught it there as well, you heard Citizen talking to, I believe, Gunner, in reference just being like, hey, man, slow things down just a little bit. You need to listen to what me and Gio are communicating back and forth about what you need to be doing with your position. So hopefully they can try and fix things up and tie things up here in this last round of their offense.
And that definitely is one problem that Gunner can have. You know, still young, still, especially compared to a lot of the players in this roster, pretty inexperienced. He can overheat.
Full of vinegar,
moments.
man.
Exactly. He can overheat in moments and end up, well, losing his life.
If there was a moment to be talking about Gunner in that way. But that was more than likely not a critical error on his end. It was probably just a nice find from BDS on this top floor. But we don't really know because he just kind of magically went down here in Janitor. Rexen really not going to be able to do too much when it comes to the info game either, as that player has already hightailed it out of there.
So Hibana gone on a basic defense. Not great.
Especially when your other choice is Ace.
Gio hitting the lurk, though. Look at that. Look at that. Nice little find on the Licky Fack. However, you have still lost the Hibana when you're attacking the basement bomb site. And I mean, it might seem like a trivial point, especially as Soniqs have made it a 4v4 instead of a 4v5, but without those X-Kairos, sure, some of the hatches are open, but that Selma you want to save for the bottom floor. You want to open up that standing hole you've made before.
Did Gunnar... We never even saw him like try and move towards that direction, so I don't know if BDS opened these up intentionally.
Well, they've opened these up pretty consistently.
They have, but they didn't open the bottom square one the last time, or the one inside a small office. That's the two key ones that were not touched. But we'll just have to see. Either way, Soniqs don't have to worry about hatch work here, and that's the beauty of what just happened to them with the Gunnar situation.
Well, they'll certainly be happy about that. They'll be saying, Gunnar, why'd you have to die? But at least they won't be lamenting the loss of his utility as much as they might have in theory, depending on the strat BDS were running. But speaking of strats, Soniqs have relied on multiple flanks from Rexon down marble stairs to open up these basement rounds. It worked the first time, but it still came down to a 1v1. The second time, he got some kills, but still didn't work out. An unfortunate position for the Soniqs as there's a reinforcement right in his way. Grixer will have to prone on in, try to plant the diffuser. Nice by Geo. He's got 2 huge picks in this round. He's tanked Yokais and impacts, and he allows Grixer to get in position. He still has the case, takes the goo mine out. There's another Yokai moving on in. Rexon, they find it again. Bride is going to have to stop the plant by guns alone at this point, and somebody drops down and easily shuts him down. Grixer in disbelief as Rexon hits a highlight reel to tie the half.
I just want you to know him and I made the same face. That's why I kept that for you there for a while. Grixer and I both just pogging out on that drop shot there from the hatch. And the Soniqs tie things up. Lynx are more than capable. And especially with all the hatches lacking, really any reinforcements or any assistance out of BDS, it was going to be all down to the utility game. And specifically, it came down to the Yokais. But those were quickly dispatched. And what a great find specifically from the ace for the Soniqs as he was able to work his way in and get that big kill there right off of the bomb chassis.
Yeah, big play by Grixer there. As Rexon, not the one to open it up that time. No. Geo holding out as long as he did, allowing Grixer to get into position. Rexon does find the final 2. Let's just respect this for a second.
Oh, man. That's gross. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that was...
10 seconds to
that's why they pay him the big bucks.
Indeed.
But also for this Soniqs defense, as we are now at the side swap, we have seen this strat before. Even if Soniqs might not have played Bank all that much, I remember casting at least this very strat from what I think it is, all the way back on the first play day of the NAL when they were playing against Wildcard. They've got Geo on the Clash, they put him in server. Is it like a unique strat to Soniqs? No. But they do like this. They like putting Geo just sitting there, harassing the attack, saying, hey, I'm just here. I'm going to relay intel to you, and I'll just be a little annoying by my sheer presence, and also maybe relying on a little bit of a server's hold. Depending on what Soniqs want, we do have Gunnar on that smoke, but Geo has instead pushed all the way up to server at the beginning of the round.
I don't hate it. I really don't. This is a key position for the map, and as well as one that Geo can just sit here and waste time with. Shaiko's going to try and load up a frag grenade here, and that's going to be kind of a waste. No damage dealt to Geo or anything of the sort. But speaking of BDS, I honestly really like their lineup here, man. They've got Bride in on that main hard breach, but they've got 2 secondary hard breachers, Capital as well as Buck moving in. And both of these operators fantastic when it comes to Bank, especially with the soft destruction around the map for Buck's sake. Not so much on the basement floor, but I digress. Geo's going to get taken down by a big frag grenade. I don't know if that poured in on the bottom of the stairwell or exactly the situation that ended up folding over onto him, but Geo's dead to rights, and that's going to open up servers for BDS.
My guess is, being Sledge, he probably entered through square, opened up one of the soft floors on top of that blue window. Maybe? No, he didn't open up any holes there. Well, either way, he got the nade kill, and he was on that top floor. So I at least got part of that right. And now they've cleared out server. A big method that Soniqs tried to use to deny time is now gone. More importantly, though, BDS can start popping these Vulcan packs on the site that often waste so much time. That can be the death knell of executes on low time. They have over 1:15 to do it.
Yes, indeed. One good thing going for the Soniqs is that they have Grixer. This pulse can feed so much information back to your team and allow them to know things like, can I rotate up marble safely? Yes, I can. Fantastic. Let's try this out and see if we can get some things going with this Vector, because we know they have to try and hold on to these hatches.
Now, retake almost required at this point from Soniqs. BDS have so much angles on the bomb side, and LeakyFact's just watching. This is a clinical attacking strategy from BDS so far. With the find on Geo early, they move in, acquire map control, shut down any flanks. It's only on these smokes to land, and thankfully the first one does. C4 goes wide, so it's all left up to the 2 toxic canisters from Gunnar. Another one lands exactly where it needs. No gap for BDS to move in and plant, but Renshiro still getting kills. BDS still finding momentum. Gunnar's only got 1 smoke canister left, and Grixer's held down the back of the site. No gold drop just yet, but Gunnar knows another might be incoming. He doesn't feel like he can smoke it out. He's got to go for the retake, and BDS have him figured out. An attacking strategy from BDS that honestly seemed like there was no gaps left.
Yeah, nothing really to do there, especially with that big loss of Geo earlier. I think Soniqs' strategy goes much more swimmingly if Geo's able to maintain his life for just a little while longer inside of blue. But that was probably a perfect frag grenade coming out of Renshiro there. So unfortunate circumstances befalling the defense, and that's why they're not going back to the same well. Time to find some new water instead. They're going to head to open area now to try and fix up a couple holes in this ship.
This is the type where we have to like go back to site in a 3v3. We can't go like 5v5. We'll just lose.
You heard the call from Soniqs there. They are looking to get some kills off the site. They're looking to play that site in the 3v3, not just hold out the execute, because that's where BDS thrive. That's their playstyle. 2 of the top teams in Europe, BDS and BP. Here we go.
No way.
Spiral. Oh, he threads the needle there just as Geo backs off from the door. That's excellent timing from Renshiro with that grenade. But you hear the call made by Citizen on Soniqs saying, all right, we can't just play 5v5 execute siege. That's where BDS thrive. VP, BDS, top 2 teams in Europe, that's their playstyle. Is it a bit different? Sure, BDS probably a little bit more aggressive or relying a bit more on fragging, but that's what they like. So if Soniqs are just going to cede map control and allow BDS to set up for an execute, that's not going to be a winning formula. That's going to cost them rounds. But play to your strengths. Let Gunnar get aggressive if he wants to, or at least contribute to aggression. Let Rexen, Grixer, your star players try to trade down the man count and make BDS take time to clear you out.
Exactly. And that's a great catch from Ben there. He knew the problem immediately. They're letting BDS set up and get ideas about how to clear out these pivotal positions, and it's just going too far. And that's what you expect out of these big star players like Citizen, to have a good recognition of a situation. And it only took him 1 round on this side to be like, all right, guys, we have to fix what's going on.
Chaiko now pushing on in. They know that somebody's playing on this top floor. They recognize what's happening. They say, all right, we need to take gunfights with you. We will do our best. Try and stop you. Rexen, look at the quick peeks. He wants that kill. He wants that advantage. He wants that satisfaction of a 5v4, and he gets it. Alem's cut down. This is what he hoped for. Maybe not Chaiko in square, but in stock, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do, indeed. Alems goes down as he tries to immediately pressure the back end, but Chaiko wasn't there on the front side to be able to collapse with him. Just kind of a solo dolo play there from Alems, and he's going to go down because of it. And also, wow, the drone economy right now for all of BDS is practically dead to rights. EFAC as well as BDS, the only ones with drones left.
This is such great damage for Soniqs. I mean, they were hoping for a 3v3 to trade down to the final minute, but in the process, they've dismantled all of BDS's drone economy. At this point, Renshiro might be hoping he just gains passive intel by these Roteros, hoping he spots something in the process, because as he's clearing out intel, Chaiko just sends it on in as the barricade's destroyed. Soniqs retain their lead, though, but Chaiko domes one. Now we're down to the 3v3, but this is still what Soniqs wanted. This is what they were still okay with, to put BDS in an uncomfortable position where they need to get aggressive and start pushing in.
You have to figure it out. A lower man situation than what they would normally want to go about. Renshi have that angle to worry about on the far end, but nobody going to man it. They're going to try and force BDS to take the site card. It's the smartest thing that they can do in this situation. Try and hit that swing at the most pivotal moment you can. Gio's worked his way back upstairs, and he's going to be able to assist with Chaiko. It's the worst gun in the game, but it'll take him down. And Soniqs with a big defensive win.
Excellent call after that first round. They make the decision, play aggressive, take those gunfights, and if you don't find an attacker, find a drone in their place. And they do both successfully. Rexen gets a kill, and Soniqs dismantle the intel game from BDS, and they are struggling to find a pathway. Now, to be fair, credit to BDS. They
Yes.
recognize the situation. They take control of tellers, but the damage was done at that point because even in a 3v3, we know that's what Soniqs were more than happy to work with.
Absolutely. And the key, the most pivotal piece of that puzzle for Soniqs is Geo making that rotation upstairs and allowing things, like I was talking about, to reach critical mass. You do not just want to swing willy-nilly. You want to force BDS to take the damn site. And as soon as they do, that's when you rip their head off. That's when you want that fight. And that's when you're able to show the full breadth of what your mechanical ability is. And Soniqs on full display right there. This team is here to play, and it's a 4-4 scoreline. There is a world, there is a possibility where the Soniqs send the French home.
There is.
5 seconds to
There was
go.
also a world where Soniqs won 7-3. There was also a world where Soniqs won 7-4.
I love the multiverse.
And instead, the reality we live in is one where they only won 8-7. You can never count BDS out, just as you can never count Soniqs out. Very little teams at this stage you can ever truly say have lost a lead once it seems to be gone in the short term. And look at this setup from the Soniqs.
Yeah.
There is one guy on site, and well, there's one less player in the lobby.
Echo finds Gunner. Don't know if that was over in the stock window or exactly where he went down. There was that rotation that was created there for Square, but I mean, this is just a really solid position from Shaiko to start things off. There is somebody I do believe in stock right here, right now. Yes, indeed. It's going to be Geo that's just waiting patiently here. I don't know if anybody drones him out in this position either, as he's been waiting very, very patiently. And he's been discovered.
No.
Oh, this is going to become very problematic, does he? Win the fight, he does not. Alems guns him down. And now we're back to what was the initial issue with Soniqs' first defense. They still try and go about things like they did the second time around, but they don't get the kills.
They just try to do more damage to BDS's intel game, and again, it works. BDS are down to 3 drones with a minute 10 seconds left, but there's far more impact from those drones. Instead of going down 4v5 and only having 3, now BDS have gone up 5v3, acquired top floor control, and sure, have lost a lot of drones, but even if Rexon retreats, as long as BDS move down onto that middle floor in a timely manner, this can still very much be called a win. BDS have not lost a body. All 3 of those drones can still actively be used, and there's the Gemini replicator from LeakyFac to add as an effective 4th drone. The intel game might be damaged, but it's not done.
BDS keeping this pacing going. To break open the wall now and start setting things up to try and push in a plant. But here's the big thing now for Soniqs. There's so many guns up for BDS. They'll be able to abuse every single angle around this floor, and they're going to lose Rexon again here. Another nade out and another successful kill, but Grixer gets right into Gold Vault. It's a dying moment there. He will not die, at least here for round 9 just yet. Has a chance, but it's going to be the follow-up frag grenade from Alems that's bouncing up Red Hallway that'll take him down. Citizen looks to try and stop the flawless round, but Brede is at least going to get the plant. And how do you stop something that is inevitable? It's going to be a flawless round here from BDS, and well, you're going to get it done. You're going to have to really, really get some sweat under your brow. Soniqs not going to be able to get too much done in the initial portion of that round, and it leads to a very solid BDS take once again.
And the idea of Soniqs play that round, it's still consistent with what they wanted. They wanted to do damage to the drones, wanted to get a kill, but ultimately Gunner just found likely making a rotate, Shaiko getting himself into a key position early on, but Geo stuck inside of stock. It's not like the hatch was open. That hatch was reinforced. If Geo's droned, he has to win that fight. And he's peeking Shaiko. Like, I don't want to be that dude. Geo has killed Shaiko in this series, but when Shaiko's got intel, I know who I'm picking in that engagement. So while there was good damage from Soniqs, ultimately it was very ratty plays on that top floor that end up costing the Soniqs. And when there was a consolidated
was actually Alems.
middle floor, it was Alems. I mean, still, he's got intel. Like, what's he gonna do? Alems is a great player on this roster.
Yep. And again, it's still everything minus Shaiko's name, the exact same situation. Seldom is a professional player going to miss critical shots like that when they have info. Otherwise, all of Twitter's probably clowning him. So, but BDS was a moment where they needed to make it matter most, and they were definitely more than capable. And once again, the first 10 seconds, Shaiko is just pre-firing things, and he's just dealing damage randomly to Citizen through the wall. Citizen probably feels like the whole world is coming down on him right now.
So Grixer was peeking the window, and Shaiko started pre-firing, so Grixer got damage through through the wall, and then some bullets just accidentally hit Citizen. Like, he was sitting over by the small office is how he got shot, and now he's tagged. Shaiko's tagged up. Everyone in the early round wants a piece on the action outside of the bank itself. And Gunnar, with a hole on the top floor, is looking to add a new dimension to this, but the stock position can be difficult. And now the hatch is open at least, but more importantly, Gunnar's backed off. It's a heavy top floor hold at the moment, and Soniqs need to make sure they're playing off each other's positions.
EFAC got both of the mirror windows open with his Twitch drone. They're both open upstairs right now, and BDS have only expended a single minute, and they've practically destroyed the entire top setup. There's a castle barricade here, but that's really about it. That's going to allow Alems to work in because of that castle barricade. There's no real view for him, but they know that this kid is in the area. Alems has to work his way through. One's over inside of Checkers, other one in E3 working down Marble right now. It's all going to be a game of timing.
Gunnar now rotating out just on the opposite side. He backs off all the way back to the elevator hatch. Alems spots one though as Grixer picks up the first pick. Alems with the transfer. A 4v3 for BDS. Geotangling with Likifac around the ATM position, but he's got to fall back to the bomb site. But this is such a risky position because BDS have full control of the second floor.
Yes, they do. Got a bit of time to work it too. Renchi breaking up a lot of this flooring. It's still doable for the Soniqs, but it's going to require a pretty pivotal gunfight. Alems tagged up quite a bit. EFAC tad as well, but some hot guns across the board, especially for Renchi's sake. It's been kind of quiet throughout this event, but right here, right now, he's setting the world on fire. EFAC moving his way into here from the lobby. Alems drop down the elevator. What a shot from Grixer! The first bullet out of that MP7 decapitates EFAC.
1 HP though, Soniqs need to be careful in the 3v3. Grixer can very easily fall victim to one of the many guns alive on BDS. But in that 3v3, if Soniqs can just trade out on the defense and start it off with a kill, they could be okay. The only issue, Citizen inside of open area while the rest of the defense is inside of the bomb site. So his rotation back is very much in jeopardy. Alems is watching, knows the Legion is there now because of that spray. The site players need to hold, and Grixer's taken down. Citizen found two. BDS find match point. 2 clinical attacks to get them to this point.
And too little, too late from the Soniqs. BDS with such a considerable clear on that top floor. And those Twitch drones, we referenced this earlier in the tournament. Those Twitch drones so important to your mirror windows. And we talked about how you really want somebody in the area to be able to baby those things. Maybe they got set down a little early or something along those lines. But Twitch drone rolls in, gets those, opens up the round for BDS. And it's going to be a timeout here from the Soniqs. Let's listen in.
Okay. A bunch of like 50-50. One person will stay, one person will leave, and you either do it together or you don't do it at all. Okay.
Do you want me to sit inside?
Either bring, or that, or I need a BP or something like that to put in stock.
I'm putting mine inside just in case I get flooded.
Okay.
Play E3, remember?
You hear the call from Soniqs. The decision or the advice by Goddess, their coach. You can play aggressive. You can play that 3v3 methodology. That's fine. But if you aren't, if everyone isn't going to buy in, if everyone isn't going to commit, you might as well not do it. You can't always account for anything. Alems with that two-piece, that's just somebody hitting shots. But right there, Citizen, he decides to play inside of open area, and it can win him the round, but at the end of the day, it's a 50-50. It is a 1v1. If everyone doesn't buy into that setup, there's going to be holes, and BDS have proven on Chalet, even though they lost, but have certainly proven on Bank as they move to match point, that if there's a gap, they can find it, and they can use it to win the round.
And it just go to show you as well that the Soniqs game plan, what they talked about, what Citizen talked about after that first round, that is truly what you have to do to BDS in order to kill them. You have to be able to take away that early round clear, and they haven't been capable inside of the last 2 rounds. That round especially egregious. Alems in a 3 armor stomping his way through that top floor, unbeknownst to absolutely everybody, especially off the back of, you know, some good drone work and that kind of stuff, with those Twitch drones and things along those lines. But, you know, if you want to abandon ship, if you no longer want to be up there, let's not stick around the auxiliaries, right? That's how Alems is able to get those 2 big kills.
Vigil in play now. A defensive operator synonymous with deep.
Oh, here we
deep
go, baby.
roams. He flies out. The BDS are aware of it. They know with so much utility put onto that CEO position that if you just have somebody watching the window, if you don't get a kill, you've wasted your time a little bit. But if you do, that's a big play early on.
That's going to be Geo going down. What a discovery there from EFAC. It's moments like that. Manners maketh man, Lynx. Sometimes you have to mind your manners too on the defense. Some high-flying antics from Geo, but it's well covered, well met by BDS. Shaiko's gonna move in here for Square. Also got Renshi over here on this side. And Alem's, Shaiko, and Renshi have been going off this map. Looking a lot more like themselves across the board. Rexon now taking some heat, some cannon fodder pours in from top Square out of Shaiko.
The Soniqs are trying to replicate the success of their previous defense of this top floor, not of the bomb side, but just of these positions. Rexon trying to get aggressive behind that shield. Support on the backside by Gunner, but he's found by Alems, lurking in through CEO. It all goes the way of BDS! A flawless to take their map pick, and if you thought Chalet was a barn burner, Bank was a stomp.
Well, man, do I have some good news for you. It's not over yet. One map to one, both of them get their selections, and both of them with some considerable efforts. Consulate is on the docket, folks. We're sending you to break.
Hey, I'm Dominique Clément, game designer on Rainbow Six Siege. If you want to get ready to confront the next addition to the Siege roster, here are a few advice. Maverick's Flaming Gadget might be that one tool you can always rely on when it's time to melt through the enemy's defense. Training your sharpshooter skills, and more specifically, with gadgets like Zophia's Lifeline, will come in very handy when it comes to countering the effect of her fresh new face. Finally, it wouldn't be Siege if explosions didn't have an impact on your game. And this season is the perfect moment to review your frag throwing skills, because a well-placed bang might just be what you need to clear you and your team a path to victory. That's all for now, but make sure you tune in to the full reveal to get all the information on what's coming next season. See you there.
Hello, my name is Cizin and I play for Soniqs, and today I'm going to be playing Drone in the Unknown.
Oi, sou o JV92AW7M e hoje eu vou descobrir os drones aí que...
Hi guys, this is Boys from Team M80 and today I'm playing Drone in the Unknown.
どうも、スカーズ所属のピョンです。Drone in the Unknown.
My map knowledge, pretty good, I'd say. I've been playing this game since I was like 11.
Eu acho que meu conhecimento de mapa é bom. Eu sempre posiciono uns dronezinhos aí pra galera matar. É, isso aí é fora do mapa do arranha-céu lá, Skyscraper.
That is a dragon on the map Skyscraper.
The architect is giving away that it's Skyscraper.
高層ビルだと思います。
I can just tell because of the kind of sculpture.
Eu acho que você está todos, né? Tá fácil. Isso aí é mole. Wait, what?
うわ、むずい。見たことないけど、なんか見たことある。
I see a book. I'm pretty sure it's cafe.
Isso aí é no café lá, pô. Isso aí, esse livrinho aí, ó. É no café.
Café.
Yeah, this is Skyscraper for sure.
I say we're pretty good at cafe, yes, I know that map.
Yeah, okay, nah, got that one wrong.
I see some anime books. I don't know what anime that is though.
I want to say Skyscraper because I see like kind of the pattern on the wall.
背景。壁の。
Do lado da suíte lá, do Sky.
Skyscraper.
That's Skyscraper.
5 de 5 é muito fácil, cara. Isso aí, ó. Dá pra ver tudo, pô.
待って、どこだ?
Yeah, I'll just go Chalet. I have no idea.
It's so easy. Yeah, fronteira, border. No... Arquivos?
Border.
This is, I think, border. I think it's in tellers.
もう分かったのは上の
The same thing here. I recognize the pattern in the ceiling.
Essa é difícil, pô.
The radio, I could tell just because of the knives and the stuff in the background, so quite an easy one.
They both have radios in the map, so it's Nighthaven or Consulate.
Vou chutar Chalet.
Basement on Clubhouse.
Nighthaven Lab.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say Consulate Garage.
Wow, okay. I was completely wrong. I just got done playing Drone in Unknown.
Had a lot of fun playing today.
全問正解。私だけでした。
And yeah, see you guys at the major.
Torce pra dar pro seu time aqui, ó. Ó, vamos em busca do bicampeonato.
The French aren't quite ready to wave that white flag just yet. They take their own map choice bank, and now Soniqs are forced to go all the way to a third map in what has been a hotly contested elimination series to see who gets knocked out and who still has a chance to progress through playoffs. I'm Jacob, he's Laxing, he's Fox, and guys, first map was super back and forth. This one was back and forth until we got to that second half, and then BDS just unloaded.
Once BDS got to the attacks, their attacks on bank are so dynamic. A lot of those rounds didn't even make it to the execute. They were just getting one pick after a second pick after a second pick.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a 4v2, the executes are that much easier. BDS was really in hand on attack.
No, they played those attacks beautifully. They had a very well executed, or at least definitely had an idea of what SQ was going to be playing on those on this map.
This last round we're going to see here, I just thought was beautiful to touch on the almost split. You can see how BDS is instantly just rotating over. Renshiro is going to meet up with his teammate as LickyFac is going to push in through the front. They really just meet up together. Even though LickyFac gets two while he's entering in, the fact that they're just pushing through at the exact same time, clearing out the roamers on that middle floor, when they made it look like it was going to be a top CEO clear, they pretty much slaughtered the whole middle floor. And then they didn't even need to go for the plant because the rest of the kills just followed.
And that just goes into what I was saying. Like, they played that attack half phenomenally well. Whether that was a drone or whether that was just prep from a VOD of knowing that they didn't have that many people in sight and they could just collapse and send everyone into that direction. I mean, it was beautifully executed. And just overall, a lot of these rounds were well-timed, well-executed by BDS.
Everything on this first half felt like, all right, even contention, not really having, like, you can't find a way to swing this to one side or the other. And for a very, very brief second, it looked like the Soniqs might have been able to open up a pretty decent advantage in that first half. But again, as soon as that side swap occurs, it's all BDS every single day. Like, because you guys are highlighting it, everything from that point was just clean as hell.
Well, I think it's just like how we just touched up on the last map. Soniqs was starting out super strong, and then the side swapped, and then you saw BDS immediately start coming back. It was not the same situation, but in terms of just the tenacity that both these teams are bringing to each one of these side swaps, it's been impressive.
We talked about it beforehand, both attacking teams. Obviously, Soniqs, they were going for a lot of executes. A lot of these situations BDS was putting them in was forcing them to go for the plant, forcing them to go for the executes. They had some good attacks. But on the other side of things, we also talked about both teams struggling on defense. That's why Chalet went the distance. And Soniqs still struggled on defense. BDS was really dynamic, again, with the areas that they were entering into the map, really using that middle floor and the front lobby as much as possible.
So BDS, for their own part, 6 overall opening kills. Soniqs right behind them at just 5, and we were talking about this in the back about whether they were actually able to make those opening picks work out and turn into overall wins. This doesn't show their overall conversion rate, but how impactful so far has it been to get that first pick in this series?
A lot of those opening kills that BDS were getting were on attack, and they were untraded from Soniqs.
Yep.
Like we said, they turned into multi-kills, whereas on the other side of things, Soniqs would get one, it would get traded back instantly. And that was kind of the defense attack setup that BDS was playing. They really were just trying to stick together. They weren't trying to allow Soniqs to get that multi-kill potential that you know that those players can get.
Yeah, and they did a good job on converging that one kill into another kill and keeping that man advantage constantly going in their favor, which that's what you need in any attack situation. Having that man up is always a good game to be playing that man disadvantage when you're going against that.
All right, I asked the guys in the back about this very last map. We're going to Consulate, and apparently for BDS, this isn't really one that they play very often, but it's also not one that they ban. So to find an example of them playing new Consulate is a rarity. So let's take that information and talk about the way that Soniqs do or don't play Consulate. Talk to me about anything related to them on this map.
I mean, I guess this is the time where I can say I've played Soniqs a lot on Consulate.
Yeah.
The things that I saw to them was a lot of amazing individual play, the way that Citizen, he's always been good at that map. I remember playing against him in Tokoname.
Oh.
He when he was on Navi,
deep cut, dude.
He's always been a demon at that map, navigating the map. On defense, he is usually the solo roamer, and he's usually dismantling the attacks, just solo roaming, doing it a lot on his own with the information and the vertical play from the rest of his team. So this is a map where I could see SQ keep it closer on defense. So we'll have to see if BDS can still bring that intense attack and the unique attacks that they have.
Well, I mean, I just want to ask you, because you do have that experience playing them most recently, what do you think BDS has to do specifically to shut that down?
If you can handle Citizen on the roam, the attack should be a lot cleaner. You can add the verticality, because Citizen is usually on the floor above or below where the push is coming from.
All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Who takes map 3? Real quick.
I'm going to say Soniqs.
Soniqs?
I've been too well on my predictions with how the maps have gone.
All right.
I think I said something earlier about BDS, and then Lauren looked at me and she was like, I heard you. I heard what you said. I don't know. BDS looked really good. I think I'm going to have to give it to BDS this
All right. A split desk cannot stand against itself. Stokes, Lynx, take us home.
All right, I just want to take a look at you, Fox. You might have just dropped in this major, but you're still North American like the rest of us. I'll remember that BDS prediction for later, because especially if Soniqs...
At least you looked good making the prediction.
I mean, that's fair, but I'll keep in mind. But Soniqs are moving to Consulate. This is a map that they have played. They're a bit of a known quantity in the NAL. They've won it twice, not lost it once. But BDS, just as on Chalet, they've not played it in the EUL Stage 2. They've not played it at Atlanta, but seem to be comfortable, having not banned it with the same frequency as other maps. So what do they have up their sleeve? What can they bring to Soniqs? But more importantly, what can these two teams bring to the final map that one of them will be playing in Atlanta?
Ladies and gentlemen, it may be one of the most interesting maps that we've had throughout the history of Rainbow Six Siege, especially when it comes to high-flying antics. We are going to solve who goes home here on Consulate. It might take all 15, but whatever happens, happens here, and it happens now. BDS is going to be the first one to ban, and it's going to be Monty. Let's see what this offense is going to look like after this step. And Soniqs, I love this so much. They're going to ban Finka, and Shaiko is going to have to take one step further into his operator pool, you're probably looking at Yana, probably looking at Ash.
Shaiko literally going like whenever he making a very distinct face whenever Soniqs ban Finka. They do not want to deal with that attacker, but Soniqs also characteristically do not want to deal with Azami. Left up as a tool for the defense on most maps, she's a pain, but on Consulate, where you need to push in the map and need to push through very tight corridors and doorways, Azami can block you out entirely, especially on that second floor.
Yes, indeed. And honestly, Carter, I think that this map right here between BDS and Soniqs, I think it's going to make you a Consulate believer. I really do. I know
that's a bold statement.
I know some of the offensive things that happen, some of the more slow rolling plays, it can't be fun sometimes as a viewer, but I'm telling you, between these two teams, a map like this gets quite interesting, and it's going to be very, very exciting, folks. Let's get into the map. It's going to start downstairs for BDS. Soniqs will have the offense to start us off on this half, and every single one of these rounds is worth its weight in gold.
Located by attackers.
Immediately launching into BDS's defensive lineup, we obviously have some obvious choices. You know, the Mira on site to make sure that nobody can just simply push in through garage. Gives it a great ability to stop anybody from pushing in, of course, but a Lamps on the Fenrir. If you're not seeing Azami because she's banned, you're seeing Fenrir. It's simply going to happen. Solus can be picked sometimes. She certainly can be useful, but Fenrir, for how constricting, how claustrophobic this map can be, if you're a player like Rexen, who's trying to hit a lurk like you did on Bank, well, walking into an F-Naught is going to be the worst thing that happens to you that round, but unfortunately, a likely thing.
Yes, most definitely. And the other thing to consider when you look at this map is just how much info game, how many different things you have to clear, right? And that's why we see this lineup from the Soniqs. It's info-packed, man. You have that secondary hard breach coming in too on the 0. Jacqueline Dokkaebi, obviously, the other two big pieces to this, is they're going to assist in clearing things out. And this is practically, in my mind, a perfect operator lineup for a map like Consulate.
Hunt down those roamers, bolster your intel game, especially on a part or on a map that is so difficult to get those drones in, to get them in useful positions. Supplementing that with 0 cameras or Inox. You got to do whatever you can, and that's not even mentioning the Dokkaebi calls. Extensive roam from BDS. Shaiko all the way up on that top floor. He's now dropped down to the middle alongside Lickifak. They are slowly retreating through the map. They know the strength of Consulate. There is no need to hold these positions for a long time. Like Bank that we just saw, you really can let the map do the talking.
It's all in good timing. It is all in good timing. And as you notice, you stare at that clock, you can see we've almost striked halfway between this round, and that's usually when that natural cadence starts to kick in for Siege players. They start looking for the exit hatch, potentially where the pressure could be rolling in from this offense, because they have to start trying to fight this mid-floor and clearing out these players in order to get something going towards the site.
Gunner will already worry about those mirror windows. Shaiko also down below, working himself into an aggressive position. Instead, it's Bride with the C4 to get the first kill for BDS in the round. Shaiko onto Rexen, following up with the second. Takes some damage, but Sonic slowly being pushed out of this round. Shaiko just around the corner, downs one, but not the second. Geo can pick Citizen back up, but Shaiko has done more than enough to give BDS a fighting chance.
One more call here for Citizen 2. Gunner maintaining that angle inside of yellow over towards Renshi's Mira here, but it's going to be the patience play from BDS. They have 2 nitro cells, 2 big answers to a potential plant. It's going to be the breaching charge above, and he's going to be forced to play this back a little farther in towards the kitchen. Geo trying to grab him, but it's right on the coattails, and Renshi delivers on the nitro cell. It'll send Geo flying down the hatch. He's dead to rights. Citizen and Gunner are the only 2 that remain.
This is a layup for BDS at this point. They have the mirror windows intact. Gunner has the smokes to block it off, and even the Dokkaebi call giving intel, but Lickifak can cut right through all of that noise. Gunner pushes in, but Citizen now down. He finds a second. Gunner almost finds a third, but there's not enough time to get it done. BDS take their first round on the defense.
And right there, as you said earlier, showing how Consulate works. BDS setting things up on that mid floor, bringing some reinforcements, bringing a little utility, delaying things out for the Soniqs. I mean, Gunnar was standing in yellow for a solid 2 minutes while they tried to clear things out over on that end of things. And it eventually works out for them. They're eventually able to get the BDS players to fall off. A little pressure boils up from Shaiko, which obviously downs the dope for a split second. But it's all in, really positive strategy for BDS as they not only dwindled down the timer, but they got some really big kills onto the Soniqs. They're not able to bully the site in the same way, and BDS able to take at least the first round.
And looking to take the second in a similar way. No Fenrir, surprisingly, especially on this second floor. The Fenrir tends to be a pretty common addition to the defensive lineup because the attack either has to clear from yellow stairs or admin side, and just as many other portions of the map, only 2 doorways and 1 stairwell on the admin side is what allows the attack to move closer to that console bomb. Instead, BDS have slotted Alems on the Clash. So, is it a dread mine? No. But it is a huge obstacle in Soniqs' attacking path that they will have to deal with. There was the Amaru for a little bit from Soniqs. We saw it flexed, and with the Amaru and the gridlock, we've seen a lot of teams use those ops to take this second floor, but it switched off, and instead, we see the Brava, where if there was a Fenrir, that would be the counter for it.
Most definitely. Soniqs getting some better considerations on this top floor through the info game. They want to try things on the admin side of things. A very natural progression here on the map of Consulate, especially for this top floor. If you can get your footing on over there, you really just have to concern yourself with that vending hallway, and then you can start applying pressure towards the actual site. That's why they've got Citizen in here. They do have the case on this side too, so they're going to need some assistance as Gunnar needs a little help getting this Selma to go off. That's why Gia's going to rotate and apply another EMP to make sure everything goes swell.
Well, first one activates. Brady now has a hold of C4 if he wants to.
Selma just didn't go. It's just a mute.
Yeah, I think it's just above the. Oh yeah, because you look, the mute jammer.
Oh,
so far back. I think it. Oh, because it expands in a dome.
Yeah.
Right? So that point just outside of the radius of that mute jammer. Little bit of distance to make that work, but it does. Lakey Fack. Same can be said for that DMR. Finds Gunnar very early on 2 times now. BDS have got that opening pick. And look at how solid of a defense this is. Everyone playing within arm's reach of each other. And the Clash at the forefront to make it even worse for Soniqs.
And that's the biggest issue right here is, yeah, they've gotten the foothold, but they can't battle Alems at all right now. They're going to throw some drones in, a nade towards him, but they're going to have all this utility built up over here. This is Vending Hall, guys. Not only do they have the laser gates, but they also have ADSs, as well as Wamai discs implemented to make sure that the offense can't use so many throwables to try and influence this location. And look at this timer, folks. This strategy is working so swimmingly for BDS.
Soniqs just have no exterior positions to clear this. They only have these doorways. They only have this small little bit of positions to push up. Grixer does find Shaiko, so it's a 4v4, but it's a hollow victory. There's still no real ability for them to push up, and now BDS are retreating at their own timetable, but Bride's still playing close, and when Shiro cut down, now Alems in the 2v4 might have to take that gun out. Indeed he does, but all the kills are going Soniqs' way. It might not matter. Citizen with the backstab. Soniqs went around. That seemed they had no pathway into.
It looked like things were not going to go their way from the admin side, but Citizen's ability to make the play over on the yellow stairs, he keeps things wide open, keeps considering what the play could possibly be, and they strike while the iron's hot. I love how they are able to elongate things, really keep BDS in it on that vending side, because, I mean, Carter, for all intents and purposes, you're looking at the whole damn lineup of the Soniqs. They're all staring you in the face. But with some solid nade work, especially coming out of the Soniqs, and this play from Citizen, that's all she wrote for that round. The Soniqs get a desperate one in round 2.
Just making it work. Barely, but just making it work. Soniqs get their first attack on the board. Now we'll move down to the first floor bomb site. Only one that hasn't been played so far is Tellers. We saw a lot of play in the Consulate game you and I casted a couple days ago, M80 versus Dark Zero. Makes use of the verticality as many sites on Consulate, but for this one as well. Sometimes we'll see a Solus playing up above, trying to find where the case is going down below, but not this time. With no Azami on the board, BDS have instead moved to a few trap ops, the Dread Mines and the Banshees, likely placed on some parts of that extension on the top floor to make pushing for the Soniqs the clear, again, as you'll hear me say plenty of times, a little bit harder.
Yep. More than likely also going to doctor up some of the holes that they have here, because that's exactly what Citizen was able to exploit. He just works his way up in the back end. There's no goo mines or banshees or anything to dictate that he's there. He's able to get away with a laundry list of kills when he was definitely needed. Gio's going to work his way in. Nook available. She was banned out in map 2, but here in his hands for map 3. Do have one player over on the far end towards site, but his sights are set higher, so rotate all the way up yellow. Plenty of players in this space, and we know just how deadly this top floor can be for verticality. We saw some pretty interesting strats where practically the entire site setup was all upstairs, and like I was talking about with those Banshees, they're perfectly placed to make sure that a sneaky play can't happen, and Gio is immediately eaten up because of it.
We don't see those Banshees often anymore, but that is the piece of utility to stop that lurk from Gio. A Dread Mine might be closed. He might be able to dodge a Goo Mine depending on the position, but a Banshee with that wide radius just tucked around the corner, it'll reveal that Nook's position, and it'll stop Gio's lurk from panning out. BDS's top floor hold still very much secure, as the nades from Soniqs as well aren't finding any purchase at the moment. I don't believe that was a nade, actually. It was some bit of explosive utility. The Rexen now cooking them. Now about to send it up that hallway. Somebody playing inside of vending. Doesn't find anything. Justice can be said for the rest of Sonic's attack so far.
Good track stingers there from Rexen. The beauty of Gridlock, she's fantastic at displacement, but especially good around stairwells. You get those track stingers and some stairwells links, well, somebody's about to have a damn problem. Those impacts sometimes can't even clear them all out, as they'll be extended completely down the stairwell. Rexen, some critical shots go awry. Renshiro able to pull it back at the last second. That MP7 works wonders in the situation. Citizen now with two separate people trying to fight him inside of CEO, and he doesn't know which one to choose. Alems does, though. He'll step up to the plate, and he'll knock it out of the park. Grixer, it's all up to him inside of the 1 versus 3.
He knows the general position of Alems, but they've all backed off at this point. Even though Grixer now has control of the case again, BDS know he has to push. He has to make his way down to the bomb site. So they set up a 3-way crossfire. There's still so much utility on this top floor that his position is revealed. They know he's around connector, especially now that that Banshee shot. BDS just need to spend 15 seconds doing nothing. Nothing at all. Holding an angle, communicating, but beyond that, just play patiently. You've won the round, and Grixer knows it. He's not even moving down to the bomb site. He's moving out of the building because Soniqs are out of round 3.
And there's some serious conversation that has to be going on, because BDS was ahead of the curve on that one. Right when things went wrong for them in that last round, they identify what the strategy could be and what was exploited around yellow, and they patch it up immediately. The ship is ready for water, and BDS's sake, will immediately break that champagne bottle against the side and send her off her merry way. Round 4 now, as BDS will take the lead back after a very successful setup that all started at the very beginning with that pick onto Gio.
Obviously, as you can see, attack is a very difficult side on Consulate. Even if that engagement maybe goes Sonic's way, that's a way into the round. But if just one gunfight can be won by BDS, that can make it a 3v2 or a 2v1 or a 4v3, whatever it is. If the defense can start with that advantage, it is oh so difficult for the attack to fight back. So now Soniqs will look to change things up. The normal slow full clears are not working out so far. They got them one round, but even in that victory, it was a battle of attrition, really.
Yeah, really.
Just a slow push through admin, and they barely found any ground until at the last second they won a string of gunfights that got them that round. But even then, so much effort for not that much. Soniqs, wondering why I was stalling, are looking now to the Glaz and the Blitz to speed up the pace.
I love my life, man. I love it. Get to sit here, watch some damn good Siege between two great teams, and see them try and pull a rabbit out of a hat. Not even metaphorically speaking with this one. This is going to be a smoke play that they line up. The blitz on top of that. That's more than likely going to be a full-on blitzkrieg of that wall. And you can see Gio talking about it right now. I think more than likely what this is going to be is Gunnar gets wall smoke, goes down, blitz runs through, and Glass tries to support from the back end swing here. But we'll just have to see. Things will open up now. Gunnar gets this exothermic down, and Lynx, walk us through it.
It's all got to be at the same time. The push needs to work. They're still taking their time to find this intel, because their big problem is going to be these mirror windows. They will be constantly looking at where Soniqs are pushing from. They've got Shaiko nailed down on yellow. This is the other key factor. If he flanks down, he could throw this execute completely out of whack. Two fronts Soniqs need to worry about. The black mirrors in the site. Shaiko on yellow stairs. Do they have solutions for both? They've got one.
It's on to Shaiko too.
It's the yellow stairs player, but Liquifac fighting back. Grixer over by the breach, cut down. No, that's all the way up above. Liquifac's able to find a huge pick. Gio also, he's tagged up, but he's moved into a position to put that bomb down. Where's the C4, Renchi? Doesn't matter, he just trusts his teammates to figure it out. Citizen's cover not working as nobody from BDS is biting. They're letting the secondary utility do the talking, and the one time they take a fight, it works out for 11. Oh, he's smoked before the smoke grenade even goes off, or the glasses are activated. BDS completely take control of round 4 as Soniqs quick call. Their plan to do what their previous attacks could not is thwarted at the gates as BDS are unstoppable on the defense.
Soniqs doing their damnedest to try and load up a haymaker here for round 4, but instead it's BDS that delivers the killing blow. Fantastic patience from them, not overstepping, not really giving the Soniqs a good look. Yeah, they're able to get Shaiko on that mid floor, but they weren't really aware of what was going on around the rest of the map as they were so focused as to what that setup was going to be, trying to get Gio in and that plant down. And honestly, the key factor to that as well, as soon as Gio enters the garage door there, Lynx, he loses over half his HP. It's so difficult to try and get a plant to go down with that. And Alem's here, oh man, it's a tale as old as time when it comes to Consulate. It's the piano position that does him in.
One of the most classic vertical angles to stop a plant.
Oh yes. Time and time again, there's been numerous of us that have quickly tried to garner that. So what a great find there from Alems. I mean, if they're not willing to clear you out in that position, you hold on to that with your dear life.
5 seconds.
Soniqs bringing out a G2 strategy here. At least I first saw G2 do it. The game plan here, Sam.
I'm sure Jack will tell us about it later. So.
I made a TikTok on it, so I can tell you about that. you throw
you kids and your TikTok.
I know. You throw the light wall on through the projector, single panel. You send the Amaru in a couple of different positions. Could be CEO, could be the single window inside a projector itself. Throw the Candelas in, throw the gridlocks and CEO to stop rotations. That's generally the game plan, but let's see if Soniqs either copy it completely or iterate on it for a different effect.
I like the fact that we have Citizen in here on the Sense too. You know, we see a lot of heads-up play with a Sense where people just try and roll a light screen across and then plant behind it. But the other thing is, guys, these things bounce around rooms like crazy, and if you just toss all 3 of them randomly in a room, nobody has any idea where to look. It gets really, really saucy. So we'll see what will happen here. Soniqs are going to go through the natural progression of this top floor. There's a couple of things that you would have to adhere to, rather, and this being one of them, the balcony.
Light screen goes in, the Gara hook flies in, Gio going for the normal window. Is there a ward in the fight? They've got it prepped. Bride slams 2! Utility and gunplay. He finds the 3rd! Citizen turns his back! Soniqs throwing what might have just been a layup round. But Bride in the exact position to stop it. What are Soniqs to do at this point? Every call, every strat, every player from SQ has been completely stomped. Grixer seeds the map and seeds round 5 as he needs to make sure in round 6 everyone is on the same page.
They have got to get this second offensive round. If this is a 5-1 split, I'm terrified for what BDS does to them on offense. The thing is, when it comes to Consulate, Lynx, especially in its current iteration. It is a very utilitarian map. You have to bring in so much utility on the offense and the defense because they are going to front load a lot of these things. Perfect example being that vending hallway where we see a lot of things built up with Wamai discs as well as Jaeger ADSs, but it also just becomes so quickly congested. That's the thing about this new version of this map. It's not as open as it once was, and a perfect prime moment is obviously our friend there inside of Projector, as Brede able to get away with way too much in that position.
Grixer now calling the timeout to a close, does pick up one.
Hey, he's not done yet. Hey, whoa.
Timeout.
No trust, man, no trust.
He's still, okay,
yeah,
hold
come
on.
No trust. He's gonna die to Clash, bro.
That's
He's gonna...
brutal. No, not like this.
Please shoot him instead. Just shoot him instead, please. Please.
No.
Oh, no.
That's actually so brutal. I mean, he got both those kills, and Brede was 1 HP.
Oh,
if he's not that low, that's a winnable clutch, man.
We don't get nice things in North America, Lynx.
We don't.
All right, we gotta struggle. We gotta toil over here first.
Did you see the scoreline Mowgli dropped yesterday? I don't want Ashen going against that.
Well,
he's playing NIP technically. I think actually Wolves playing something else.
Yeah, fair
Wolves
enough.
playing D+. I don't want Woogie Man going against that. I don't.
Poor Woogie.
I'm a Woogie fan.
Poor Woogie. But with that being said, no timeout taken, and honestly, a great call from Goddess here. There's no point in one, actually. They've essentially gotten 2 on this half to try and discuss things just without her. And now Soniqs back to the drawing board. It's going to be a split site take here. So they're going to be having to work things more than likely from the top floor. A lot of teams trying to focus on tellers when it comes to this site. That's why you see Grixer over here on the Ram. A lot of people like going to that single panel window. You toss a boogie in, breaks open a lot of that flooring, makes the door downstairs isn't nearly as playable, especially around that pillar position. So with that being said, Soniqs, can you get it done? Can you get this extremely pivotal last offensive round?
I think it's fitting in round 6 as well. We see kind of the final of what I would, just for this particular moment, call the execute ops, right? Because you have your gridlock that is very useful for placing those track stingers to stop rotations at the site. You have the sends, functions as a long line of smokes to allow, say, an Amaru, another one of them, to get an aggressive position. None of those have worked to this point. The Glaz, neither. The Blitz, neither. So Soniqs' last hope for round 6 will be bringing out the Grim in a position far better than he used to be, and honestly, one of the stronger operators on attack, and we in North America are quite fond of him as well, especially if your name is Dark Zero. 1B will already go in to allow the admin clear to relay that it's safe, and now they will likely use one more to make sure they can push up past the admin office.
Yes, indeed. These logic bombs are probably going to be fast and furious here as Soniqs. I don't think they're messing around anymore, Lynx. I think this is more than likely going to be an accelerator moment here for them, and probably throw that brake pedal right out the window. Have the drone over in the corner. Shaik will be able to go and get that, but it was being manned for the time, so they more than likely know that there is presence on this top floor. Rexon will move his way over to break and try and hold that cross angle to allow the rest of his team to build up behind him.
Drone activated.
Need to get past admin. You want a shot, you gotta make it past. You can look down on verticality below, but you need more than that. You gotta make it down to that first floor. Gunner will open up one of these hatches. There's nobody actually inside of the site, as there rarely is, Sam, on the split bomb site defense. It's all either above or below. BDS going for the retake if they plant inside of the Visa office.
We've seen this time and time again, even in the iteration of Soniqs with Super on it, how this site can go. It's all about finding that safe haven, finding that one moment to be able to plant without a nitro cell blowing off your ankles. Citizen does have a few Bs still left in him. Quite a few, actually, with 4 of them here. He'll bounce once and try and clear out that hallway. And if there was a moment, it's right now. They'll flood in 2 big kills. The plant now starting, but 2 back on the other foot. Grixer will go down. It's up to Gunner. No, it's up to Geo. And a 1 versus 3. You thought they had it, but they've traveled too close to the sun. One on the far side, I don't even think that Geo knows that he exists. Shaiko missing some shots that are definitely not what you usually see out of him. But oh my God, what a dominant defensive side here on Consulate.
And for Soniqs going into that half, they tried everything. Or maybe not everything, but they tried so much. So many adjustments, rush strats, full clears, half clears, vertical play. Every dimension of an attack you could reasonably think of, there were attempts by Soniqs, backstabs even. That's what got them the one round in the attack. But every other time they tried something, BDS were able to shut them out, whether they got the first pick or not. It was as dominant as a defensive half as you can get without just being a 6-0. Alem's able to work the site in his favor to shut down 2 different players there. And Shaiko, the one main guy off site, finding the final 2 kills. Consulate is a defender-sided map, but BDS have shown in multiple map veto phases they are comfortable and happy to go to it. So if their attacks in round 7 or round 8 are too lethal, it'll be the Soniqs who go home.
And this is the real question. What do BDS do? Because we just saw such a dominant defensive side, and again, just goes to show you how difficult a map like Consulate is from the offensive perspective. There's so many rooms to clear. There's so much utility to try and deal with the majority of the strategies that BDS was taking. And not only that, but when you try and go in and actually take map control, you still have to kill the guys too, Lynx. There's so much going on there. It'll make your head spin. But fortunately enough for the Soniqs, they're now on the favorable side. Let's just see if it actually works out for them.
Reloading.
BDS know how close this is. They know what they need to do. Winning this match will just put them a little closer to SI qualification. Major be damned, doesn't even matter. But getting that top 4, 100% secure.
He looked towards the old spot for the default camera. He's like, wait, where? Oh, it's right. EFAC. What a beautiful find. They had no idea about his doings downstairs. He snuck in that front door over on the admin side, immediately goes down the hatch, travels across the basement, and finds a huge kill on possibly the best player in this best of 3 for Soniqs.
Rexon certainly had a lot of good moments too, but 1 and 5 so far. Grix are really the only one on Consulate putting up consistent numbers. The only one in map 3 that might have been keeping Soniqs as contenders for the 2-2 spot for the Atlanta Major. They'll be down in round 7, and BDS, they're a slow team, but that isn't an admonishment. They take their time because they know the value of seconds. They know the value of a 5v4, but most importantly, they know how not to throw it. There's a couple players from Soniqs who feel they might need to get aggressive. Geo in particular, he's worked himself in a good spot and destroyed some Selmas. That's great, but there will still be some holes made in the piano or exposition wall.
It's gonna be the bottom walls, and honestly, I don't think that's a terrible decision here. They're not gonna be able to move through them, but if they move incorrectly, Lynx, maybe defender's able to slip a few bullets through those cracks and get that kill in the hallway. Shaiko can move in up top. He's got somebody right inside this office. Rexon. Huge moment right here with a minute remaining. That shadow dancing on the far wall. You can see Alem's also on the CEO window. They know how important this area is. Alem's might have to send it in to try and get this frag.
Rexon's so focused on the window downstairs. Will Shaiko catch him off guard? Bride pushing in. Dreadmine will give away his position. LickyFac finds Gunner. Shaiko so finally trying to take down this connector player. Loses an important fight, but LickyFac is the player in this round. Rexon's still up top. He has a key angle, but only so workable by yourself. No intel on the planter either. This will be a post plant he has to clutch. And LickyFac is still on the top floor, cutting off his rotation back. Here he sits. Here he remains inside of CEO. He could just barely spot Bride if the angle was a little further to the right. It's a tight shot, but one bullet will do. He'll survive for a little longer. Knows he's there. He's found one, but time is getting low. And LickyFac is waiting. LickyFac hits his mark. 6-1 for BDS. And 1 round away from keeping that SI dream alive.
4 huge kills out of EFAC in that one. And it all started with that basement play here. A perfect moment for them. Something that Soniqs never really found. They never found an area to try and exploit like that where they could move in and find that initial kill. We're going to get the Soniqs timeout now, folks. Let's listen in as they stare down the barrel of 5 rounds.
Slow, 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 explode. So
I think more so maybe just
At the site, you know that they know their plan A. Sit in sight, sit in a hard spot. But if we're just going to take that 2 minutes.
Everyone from the Soniqs
Yep.
know those stakes. And you heard what Gunnar said. Slow, 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 explode. Could be multiple things. Could be attributed to a lot of different play styles. Some on the defense,
Gunnar.
some on the attack. But one example is BDS. They take their time, but a player like Leaky Fack, he explodes into the round. A 4K to get them to match point. But that's not what they're worried about. That's not what Soniqs are worried about. They are worried, just as they were on Bank, at letting BDS get set up in their positions. And on a map that is difficult to attack. If Soniqs mess up even a single time, if they let BDS get one bit of control, that might be the last straw to break Soniqs back and send another North American team packing on home soil.
And a squad that a lot of people coming into this tournament considered to be North America's best chance to take this major here in Atlanta. But it seems as though BDS might be the Grim Reaper here for NA's big hope. Now, that being said, into potentially the last round. Gunnar's gonna find some good info here on one of the newer default cams that isn't checked all the time. Could be one of those kind of situations. BDS with some solid considerations, especially in that last round. I like how they got that initial pick with good info and then slowed things down, tried to understand the Sonic setup a little bit more, and then went for the killing blow. It's gonna be all down to the info here yet again here for BDS. They have logic bombs in tow, so some of these more exploitative roams that we see out of Soniqs, like what we're seeing out of Citizen, might end up going awry. It's really just on a moment-to-moment basis, and if the timing works out.
Rexon taking a lot of damage early on. He'll make a rotate hole in the admin wall. Give him and Gunnar a pathway back, or more so Rexon a way back to the site. It's a second floor defense, and BDS are clearing from the admin side over. We know the importance of this hallway, know how powerful it can be for the defense to stop them, but Soniqs don't have a lot of utility pressed on that side. No deployable shield like we saw BDS have. Nobody playing close in that corner. Instead, Citizen playing loose on that back up the stairs. They'll let the Dread Mines do a lot of the work, but unplaced on this admin position either. This will have to be won by gunfights, but Citizen might just have the comeback play, but he's pushing for more. Don't risk it too much. Everything on the line. He finds another, but surely he has to fall back. On 1 HP as well, Dokubi call going out. Citizen makes the smart play. You've already got lucky once. No need to push for more, but Alem's down below makes it a bit more workable for BDS.
For a split second, you thought the deed was done. But it's gonna take a lot more to kill this squad. BDS, always willing and able to try and challenge, try and take a round back, even when it seems like it might not be building up in such a good way. This drone work has been insane on this map so far for them, Lynx. Another frag grenade out, and almost like the pressure was felt by the Soniqs there. They'll fall back immediately as that was one of their Mira positions. It's gonna get popped now. 30 seconds remain for BDS. They have 3 players in this 3 versus 4.
And they're close to an execute. They're close where they like to be. They've cleared out that hallway. Gunnar still playing on the long desk, is trying to add something to this defense to flank around, but so is Alems. This player close on the door. Rexon, you have to win this. You can't lose this fight. No. He reveals his position. He sends even more shots downrange. C4 goes out. It misses Brede. He can back off now as Gunnar's down on the floor. A second one flies. It gets a big kill. Alem's cut down as well. It's at 1v2. Leaky Fack, the newest addition to this roster. Such a powerful player who can frag and call. He just has to wait. Citizen on 1 HP. 1 bullet will be the end of him. Who will take the duty to defuse? Grixer pushes up. Citizen holding a long angle. The process starts. Leaky Fack begins to push forward, and Citizen finds him.
Good job.
Still in this indeed, Gunnar. You still have a shot. But 4 rounds in a row. You need to value every one of them as you take this step.
and Citizen with a picturesque round right there, especially on the start. Can't wait to see that in the replays as he's able to batter 2 players immediately when he dons the top of the stairwell over on the admin side. And without that, BDS could more than likely take that round. They get that plant down successfully. The first Nitro Cell doesn't land properly. And I mean, what a risk Citizen had to take to try and get these big moments.
I mean, you talk about that risk. If one more bullet hits him at that moment, Citizen's the guy who got Leaky Fac in that 1v2. That's the type of risky plays Soniqs feel they need to make. That is the pressure they're putting on themselves, and the pressure that is partially justifiable, but also partially just happenstance from the situation they're in. If just one more bullet from Shaiko takes him down, this very well could be a 7-1 for BDS. But they keep it close, and they're in that 51-49. Just favored a little bit in that round. They now move down to the basement. They'll need to hold this control, but spread far more wide. At least the benefit of the top floor, you can force the attack to push through choke points. But here, the attack can move through the map, and that means the defense needs to hold more than just the site.
Well, for BDS, a lot of interesting things coming to the surface here. Lems is going to have the Ram. We also have the Gara hook coming in on a basement site too. Don't see that one every single day, but when it comes to Consulate, requires a lot of clear and efac. Already inside because of that Gara hook. So fly in the top windows, start walking his way through. Citizen hears that man up top too. ERC7 doesn't want to get too aggressive here up against Renshi just yet. BDS, still a lot of things to consider, so I'm going to keep things wide. So just let efac work the top floor with, I believe, a boogie drone in tow.
Gio now looking at that hatch, contemplating a retreat. Gunner can ensure him that it's safe harbor, but those boogie drones will make either positions a little bit more difficult. Garage breach now opened up. And some shots fired by Grixer. He spotted from up above. No, that's the Legion, and Lems finds him nonetheless. Gunner rotating around there, and with this angle, Gio is going to feel a lot more worried about dropping down that hatch, a lot more insecure, and Shaiko on the Nook. Not an operator. We find him all that often. That's often Leaky Fac's territory. Shaiko more point and shoot, but now the patient game. Who will he find on this deep, deep lurk?
This could be the detrimental play that BDS is trying to bring to Soniqs. Gio, what a find! The shoe's on the other foot this time as Gio was in the exact same position as Shaiko, and the result is the same. Lems tries to move around and fight him off, but Gio's smarter than that. He's going to take yellow instead and try and force his hand to come around this stairwell and fight this M590.
Such a close quarters map. The shotguns are always favorable engagements, and he's going to keep Lems worried, keep him insecure in his position. That's the advantage, just the threat of the shotgun, not the actual pull of the trigger. As long as Gio can just keep them concerned, keep them at bay, they'll be fine. Remember, this is a basement defense. If you want to talk about BDS, time is a factor. Man disadvantage now a factor too, as Grixer finds one. Smoke canisters going out. Breedy at the breach of the moment. Citizen shuts down Leaky Fac. Lems with the trade, but Soniqs are finally starting to get active. They are finally having a say in their own fate. Not by one player, but as a team. Breedy gets the trade on the Soulless, but Rexon gets them both. Still a long way to go. Let's not get too excited, but Soniqs are starting to feel like the team we know.
It just goes to show you how insane this defensive set is on Consulate. A 5-1 almost feels natural sometimes in moments like this, but BDS already have garnered that 6th round, Carter. That's why this is so scary for the Soniqs. Just to guarantee overtime, we need to see 3 more rounds just like that one right there. And what a great read from them. BDS are taking things slow, 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 then explode. BDS looking for some moments up on that top floor, and Soniqs being able to feel that pressure. They know more than likely what's going to happen, and just that mindset, that perfect moment there for Gio to be able to bring things back across the line. BDS, remember, having that initial pick, but Gio really being the highlight player to elongate that timer on those 2 top floors.
BDS also, keep in mind, they still have that tactical timeout. If things start going awry, if BDS start facing problems, they have the advantage. They can hit the pause button. they can win that one round off of just a huge timeout. We know the impact it can have. Remember the G2 GK game? Romalo turns that entire G2 side around. BDS could very well do the same if they find themselves in a difficult position where things are going off the rails. Soniqs have already taken theirs. Soniqs have already tried to implement a new strategy. This all needs to be solved in-game from the defense, in the server itself, on the back now of another extended roam. Not as loose as Geo's was or Gunner's was. This will be a more firm hold of the top floor.
Slapping that frost mat down too. They know that LickyFac ended up moving in upstairs pretty quickly the last time, and we're hoping to see that Gara hook again, but he won't be around. Could still catch him. Doesn't want to just swing through there naturally. The first swing is actually going to be over on the admin side of things. This will warm up the drones. LickyFac admin stairs here too. He's going to work his way up towards vending. So it's going to be a full-on team assault from this side of things. Alem is just over on the other side working some drones, and probably just going to be more on some angle holds until he can hop in a window or something and get active once the play builds up to that.
11-4 so far. That's who you want to be your playmaker at the moment. Shaiko at a rare 4-7 at this point in the match. This has not been a big game for him, but it just goes to show that this was 6-1 at one point. His team has showed up to play. He is not the win condition at this point. Everyone else can be relied on to do the work, but now Alem is that very player, that X factor. Geo gets him as the first pick. Advantage acquired again for Soniqs. Now don't let it slip away. Citizen's low HP, but on such a key position. He's got to stay alive. One bullet remaining now. Away from death. Rexon now low 2. Shaiko might just have both of them lined up. Position known on both. He dodges the C4, and Gunner gets another kill. Shaiko's still in such a powerful position, but the time to make it happen is slowly slipping away. He should spot the feet as he comes around the corner, but the sight, will it block it? Will the Frost also be able to trade him out? Shaiko's just waiting. He knows he has Citizen pinned. He just has to wait a little more. Rexon now looking away. He'll have to react. Selma beans Gunner in the face. Doesn't even matter as he shuts down Brede. Shaiko goes for the peek. It doesn't matter as Rexon cuts him down. 5-1 now. On the brink of one of the most dominant wins for Soniqs. They might just be back in the series.
Want more to get you back into a series than a flawless round 2. So even if Renchi does get a kill, practically feels that way. Soniqs playing it to its absolute limit on that top floor, and I mean truly the limit. Citizen, if he oversteps by an inch, this round could have changed, but the distracting measures, the constant fodder being launched towards BDS's assault, all in good timing. Now that frag grenade probably going to be a telltale sign of where Renchi is. He's going to try and move in here. He's immediately dusted. A huge find here from the Soniqs. Are we going to get the timeout from BDS just yet?
We'll see. 3 rounds lost. Soniqs have the right mindset, 1 round at a time. That's how they've begun to mount this comeback, just 1 round after another. But a flawless round there. We will have the BDS timeout. And you'd be waiting too long at this point. You've allowed Soniqs to get a flawless site rotation. They just got their most dominant victory on the defense up until this point. This is the moment. This is BDS's moment to get the series back on track. They had this map in the bag. They had it in their grasp, but it's starting to slip away. So, calm down, figure it out.
And a good call there. I don't know which member it was on the Soniqs, but...
Okay, Joe, what's up, Swats then? Okay. Can you put the same... Oh, we're not fanning.
Anyways, as I was saying, talking about the fact that BDS is getting a little shaky right now on these offenses. And, I mean, this is such a difficult set when it comes to the game of Rainbow Six. Ever since we re-implemented Consulate, right? It used to be a pretty offender-sided map, a lot of really good pressure you could build up from the windows, but the devs, they made sure that you could not play this map in the same way. You cannot just simply sit on a window for 2 minutes, have somebody jump in the building, and then kill everybody as they try and rotate back to site. It doesn't happen that way anymore, Lynx, and it just goes to show you how impactful this defensive game plan can be. The Soniqs, metaphorically speaking, with their back up against the wall, but I mean, them and BDS, they're locked in this elimination chamber. They're the last 2 remaining, and it is a fist fight to the death.
5 seconds left before insertion.
BDS have moved to the other side of the ring. They've talked things through, and now
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
once more onto the breach. How will they adjust this? Some new ops in the mix. Brede on the Ying, Alems. He's played the gridlock plenty of times, but with renewed importance. He's done a lot of lurking on this grid, especially on Bank. But for the track stingers on Consulate, they are meant to lock down rotations in the site, make moving between the A and the bomb, or the B bomb, excuse me, for Soniqs, make it that much harder. We don't have the Amaru, so it's not going to be a quick blitz in through the connector window, but still, they're likely gunning for an execute, and they're trying to make sure that with this utility, it won't happen. A big kill to start from Lickifak all the way in. Visa finds Citizen down below.
And it's been his map when it comes to these opening moments on offense. This is where BDS was able to strike the last time with that move down low and the discovery with the frag grenade. But this time, it's going to be through pure gun skill. He'll take down Citizen, and not even a single shot will return in kind. Beautiful find here from BDS. The frag grenade's now down low. They've established the connection. The minute off the board, BDS looking to try and build things up to their execute point now, but it's going to take a minute here. This top floor can definitely be quite the issue. Shaiko doing his best to try and sneak up that yellow staircase, but Ash is going to be discovered by a goo mine. Or Fenrir or something. I thought he took something out of his ankle there, but...
He's discovered by a trap, and that's what's important because it influences Rexon's play. Shaiko has been shut down so consistently on this map, and while earlier for BDS, it wasn't a problem, since then, they have been struggling to compensate for that loss to have that same impact. 4v4 now. The big disadvantage lost by Citizen, it's not as much of a problem now. C4s might be going wide, Soniqs getting a little antsy, but they're keeping BDS on the back foot, and as long as they can delay more time, 6-5 is a very, very real.
The minute remaining now. BDS, they have some semblance of what they want to do with this map. They want to try and go for this projector side plant like we saw the last time. And I mean, the beauty of the situation is that they still have 4 guns up, so they can add in things like Efak moving his way up spiral, but they'll know about him now. Some pre-fires through. He's going to try and get rid of this Barb over here on front desk. Fortunately enough for him, nothing really blocking the way, but Alems is going to open the gates up even wider, and Soniqs is going to take a Herculean effort to try and keep BDS at bay.
They can move in for the execute now. The Candela's blinding the defenders, but somebody close on the bomb. That's Gunner. This might just be the game-winning position, but can he get the kill? He doesn't even know the bomb is going down just on the opposite side, but they get the kill. It's all a 2v2. Alem's backing off to reload. That's when Gunner strikes. He's put to 1 HP, but they can trade out Lickifak. They both need to hit their shots. The same position Lickifak found himself in. He needs to clutch again. Gunner hitting the defuse. He doesn't have time. Lickifak lets them defuse. Gunner, he gets away with highway robbery. Just 1 round away from their final lease on Consulate.
I couldn't hear shit. I was just...
There you go. He straight up could not hear the case, but it makes a lot of sense. Gunner, in a pivotal moment there, misses that audio cue, and that was almost the undoing of the Soniqs. But fortunately, damn is that kid good when it comes to gunfights. Nobody wrapping around the back end in that pivotal moment, either when he crosses over to the single door. There's so many different things that BDS could have done there, Lynx, to be able to win that round in that moment. But the Soniqs, once again, like a cockroach, man, they're just staying alive through any means necessary.
And for BDS now, you saw how confident Alems was at that 6-1, pointing to the strat book, pointing at the winning solution for BDS, but now it's only been 4 rounds, but it feels like an eternity away from that position, because now missing out on SI is a very real possibility for BDS. They're still on match point, still 1 round away. But if we go to overtime, it is far less certain. They need to win this series. They need to make it to the main stage, or we'll be missing out on some of the highest profile players in Rainbow Six in Sao Paulo. Soniqs are already there. This game matters for the major, but it matters far less than it does for BDS.
I cannot imagine the pressure on the shoulders of BDS right now. Every single moment in this round matters. The drone work, utility play, absolutely everything at its maximum value. And this, my friends, is Rainbow Six Siege. Let's get into it. EFAC, first logic bomb out there, walking towards site as quickly as possible. I think BDS is flipping the script on this one.
They've got intel on one of the players in sight, but IkiFAC gives away his position. He hits the pre-fire.
He was so worried. He was so worried.
And now Rexon wraps around. He's got his position. Brine's so focused.
Oh
he still wins the fight. That's Case on the floor. Rexon has completely stopped BDS's main attempt to catch the defense off guard. Renshiro's worked his way in, and Alems has given them a chance. Shaiko now looking to hold that Case, not necessarily pick it back up, but even that kill from Alems cost a lot of his HP.
It's all in the patience now for Soniqs. Shaiko, if there was a moment for you to show up, it's right here and right now. No more frag grenades in Yana nowadays. That's going to be up to Renshi to try and clear out some of these positions, but Soniqs, they've rested on the strategy here, Lynx. They're going to try and elongate this timer. Remember, Lem's also very low on HP. This is more than doable for the North American squad. The French powerhouse getting quite worrisome.
And look at this, Alems is rotating to Visa, but Citizen's sitting in this position. He knows that somebody might hit the backside, and that's why he's playing here. That's why he's trying to stop Alems, but can he open that hatch? Do they know? Shaiko gets his kill, though, down below, and Alems drops down the hatch. Citizen can still hit the flank, but BDS have their full manpower, have their full team moving into the site, moving closer. Rexon just around the corner. He's flashed, but do they know he's under that desk? He now pops up. Shaiko starts swinging, and he gets the kill. The C4 goes wide, but now Citizen, you need to make it work. It's just Geo on the site. You brought us so close to victory. You brought us so far, but you've let BDS move into a post plant, move to where they're strongest. He's looking the wrong way, and Shaiko, he closes it out. SI is still here, but for North Americans, they're champions. They're chosen, are sent home far earlier than they should have.
The calling of North America continues. With the knife against their neck, BDS fight back. And Shaiko especially, what a moment from him. When it mattered most, he showed up in such a beautiful way, shocking the North American squad. They had that in the bag, Lynx, but they couldn't secure it.
6-1 to 6-5 to 7-5, but it means the NAL champs, semi-finalists at Copenhagen, and one of North America's most consistently performing international squads will be absent not just from the main stage, but even from the rest of the Swiss. It's the difficult moment that many teams must confront themselves with, but for BDS, an equally powerful team, SI still in the cards. Just one more best of 3. And even if they don't make semis, quarters almost guarantees them, but just one more best of 3 to confirm their spot in Sao Paulo.
And the nerves almost making BDS there, especially at the beginning. They try and fly into the site. IkiFAC, an insane moment there, but just not to be had. BDS and Soniqs give us one of the best of 3s that we've had throughout this entire tournament, especially for Consulate's sake. I mean, the beginning of that was not looking too hot, but they were easily able to bring it back and push us to the maximum inside of regulation. BDS, definitely a lot to consider from this best of 3.
I gotta take a moment, man. That was, I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, we were in the same position a year ago in Yongshping. BDS versus Soniqs, eventually losing to the major champs. I mean, not to say anything, but
I think you're saying something.
Listen, I'm saying if BDS knocked out one of the best teams in North America, they better make a deep run to the main stage. They better make it to Sao Paulo as well, because if we get a series like that just for them to bomb out in the final BO3 of Swiss, I'll be very irritated.
Oh, man. Yeah, but a lot of pressure pushed on them in this series throughout the entire thing. You know, Bank was a little bit easier for them. They felt really at home there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a great interview for you lined up. We're going to toss it down to the desk with Caliber Jacob.
Thanks, boys. I'm sure that one was a heartbreak and a half on lots of different fronts, but this one took a long time to finally get sorted. And thank God it did, because I don't really know if anyone else could have handled that much wrenching moments over and over and over again. We have IkiFAC here on the desk to talk us through how everything went. Dude, Can you breathe? Are you okay?
Finally, after losing 8-7 on the first map, was like, no, we got it.
Yeah.
And we went to third map and 6-1 to 6-5 was like, no, like Shaco just put his hand on your face and
right, yeah.
Finally.
What was the biggest change that you think Soniqs did to bring it back closer?
They play more aggressive with trap. And we didn't expect Sonic to do that, so that's why we take a lot, like 2 rounds to adapt.
Yeah.
After that, we throw 2 rounds again with post plants. I was supposing to clutch, but I didn't clutch. But yeah, they play well on Consulate.
So like you said, Shaco was putting his hands in his face. You know, you guys have been a team for a long time. How do you guys keep the environment positive and, you know, you don't build any resentment towards each other after such a long time of teaming together?
First, we are friends. Before doing the team, before joining BDS, I was friends with BDS. And that's why we love together, we live together. Outside the game, we go to restaurant together. We live like close to Paris all.
Yeah.
And when Shaco do this kind of thing, it's like we know how easy. He's the best player in the world, he have a bad game, and he have a lot of expectation, you know. So when you do have a bad game, he's like this, but we know Shaco.
When they started coming back on Consulate, you're up 6-1, and we see Alems pointing to the playbook a couple times and smiling, and then they start mounting that comeback. What were you guys thinking in that moment? They were doing really good, and it looked like you guys were about to win, and then they come back a little bit. What were you thinking?
At the second, when Brian do that, we say nice karma. We lose every round.
Yeah.
We lost every round. So we just say when you do this, we say GG Brian, LM, we lost. So it was a joke. We did not expect to go 6-5.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are also so strong against North American teams. When you guys are prepping for a North American team, is there anything specific you guys tend to do?
No, to be honest, like we prepare every team the same way, even if it's NA, Brazil, or things like that. So no, nothing special.
Fair enough.
So now you've knocked off a North American team. You've sent them home. Does that mean anything special to you to do it in North America specifically? Like on their home soil, you've managed to knock off an NA team. How does that make you feel?
No, to be honest, feel earth-breaking to a good team like Soniqs, first in NA and losing on 1-3. So no, I'm feeling a little bit. I was trash talking in the game, but you know it was in the game.
Yeah.
But right now I feel sad for them. I feel happy for me, of course, and for my team, but sad for them.
That game should have probably been like not a grand final or a semi-final or something, but instead it happened with elimination potential on the line. And you guys still have another game to play. You have one more to play tomorrow, that game was already super close. What are you gonna like? Do you have to do anything else to like calm down and make sure that you're ready to you're amped up and good to go for tomorrow?
Yeah, like you said, Sonic is a really good team, and last time we faced them, it was major semi-final.
Yeah.
So it can be a final or semi-final. We faced them on 1-3, so 2-3 will be also a good team, I'm sure. Not maybe better or I don't know, but we'll play the same way. And Indecom was not that good today, so we'll fix that for tomorrow.
Sounds good. Anything else, Fox?
Well, I just wanted to say that was great information to know. You guys, even in your losses, it feels like you guys are always learning something and improving. Do you think that you are playing to expectations or to potential that, like you said, you have heavy expectations on you guys?
Yes, of course, we are here to win the major. We lost bad. We got surprised by Geeky because Geeky is a really good team. W7M they are the beasts, you know. So now, yeah, we want to wake up and show to everyone that we still are a S-tier team.
All right, well, congratulations on the dub. Obviously a big deal. You're going to have to wait to figure out what your opponent is going into tomorrow after the match results are done for today. Is there anything else you wanted to say to the fans before we let you go?
Merci pour tous les messages, vraiment. Même dans la défaite, vous avez continué à nous soutenir, même dans les moments difficiles. Donc vraiment merci. Thanks to everyone who support us, even when we lose, you were there. All the message, so thank you guys.
So you understand a little bit of French, right? So you kind of know what he said, right?
Oui, je parle français, mais c'est pas le meilleur. je comprends, mais je parle pas bien.
Okay, ça va.
I don't speak French, so I got none of that exchange. Leakefak again, congrats. That was hard fought. And in order for them to make this bad boy, they got to keep on winning games. Take a look.
It's time!